Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Arrows Up podcast. This is Jermaine coming to you on this Sunday afternoon of the pod, and we have a lot to catch up on. We had boxing, the NFL's in full swing, basketball is back, soccer's back after the international break, and there won't be any soccer for like 4 months or so. So international soccer. So Champions League is going to be back in full swing, and all the different title races will be up for grabs. And then you got the January transfer window in soccer. But today we're talking boxing. David's going to join me. We're going to talk about the Benavidez fight that happened yesterday, the implications for Canelo, and what that means for him. Showtime is done, which is crazy to think about, but it's done. We'll talk about Usyk versus not versus Fury that's coming up. We'll also talk about Fury um, versus Ngannou, which happened while we were away, and it just how surprising that fight was. And I think from one standpoint, maybe you can say Fury didn't take it seriously. But from the other sense, I just did not think that Usyk, not Usyk, sorry, that Ngannou was going to look as good as he did. I was that's not what I thought was going to happen. So we'll get into all of that and a bunch of other stuff. I'm sure we'll hit some NFL and all that. But that's what we have on deck for the pod. I'll have a breakdown of the week that was after the Monday night game tomorrow. So Tuesday, I'll have an NFL pod, and then on Friday we'll have a NBA pod on Friday, NBA slash soccer, just to catch us up, and we'll go from there. We'll do 2 to 3 times a week, and yeah, so subscribe and follow along with us. So David will join me, and it's just should be a fun one. Okay, so David is here. He's joining me. It's been a while. A lot has happened. We've had David last time we talked. Ngannou was just gonna have a little joke fight with Fury, so we thought. Last time we talked, Bill Belichick was still a really good coach. Deion Sanders was the second coming of Nick Saban, and Colorado was taking the nation by storm. It's after Thanksgiving, and God, a lot of things have changed. So, a lot to talk about. How was your Thanksgiving? Let's start there.
Oh, it was good, man. Yeah, just I did so we split up the cooking like with my family. So
Mm-hmm.
I was in charge of the stuffing, and I made it the day before because the day
Okay.
of I was like I just want to hang out. I went for a walk. You know,
Yeah.
I did some cleaning, but I just got to watch some football. Have a drink or two, and then boom, eating at I think we ate at like 3, but yeah, just eating, and then after that you kind of just hang out on the couch until you're ready for some pie, while the
Right. Yeah.
while that first round of food kind of goes down. So but yeah, no, pretty quiet, pretty peaceful, no traveling. Like we usually don't like travel or anything.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, how about you?
Yeah, stay. I mean, one of my mom's, one of the in-laws, and it was good. I had a at my in-laws. They had a well, they had a prime rib,
Oh, okay.
and it was so good. Obviously, the turkey was good, the ham was good, stuffing was good.
Yeah.
But the prime rib, we got there a little late, and I was like, oh man, like just scoping it out because we're just there for dessert. And but I was like, hey, like so what was there to eat? And one of my
Yeah.
wife's cousins was like, oh, they made prime rib. It's really good. I'm like, oh, this yeah, some. And I went. I got the last of it, so it was good, man. It was. I wanted to try some sweet potato pie. I wasn't able to get it, so I'm on a search. I'm gonna try it before the year
Oh,
ends.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
Dang.
but yeah, it was good. It was a good Thanksgiving. The
Right on.
49ers obviously blessed the things because they were gonna make or break it. That's the NFL decided my whole Thanksgiving was gonna be decided by the 49ers. So I'm thankful for my family that they won, and it was a good Thanksgiving
Yeah.
because and I went crazy on social media because last time we had played Seattle in Thanksgiving, it was the first year of Levi Stadium, and Richard Sherman, who's now a beloved player of the 49ers, but at the time he was public enemy number one. And Russell Wilson, they were eating turkey legs on the field on our logo. So that
Dang.
was that was I had held for I held that grudge 9 years. I had sent it. There's a guy in the fantasy league I play in. He's a Seahawks fan. And I was like, man, Steve, screw you, bro. Like, we finally got it. He's like, dude, that was 9 years ago. I'm like, man,
You're like, you don't
that's
forget. You don't
to
forget.
me,
Yeah.
I don't hold grudges. I really don't. But I can hold sports grudges forever. So these nine
Oh,
years,
man.
man, this picture I had saved on my phone. This is, and I think I posted. I was like, man, this is a 9 year in the making picture.
Dang.
It's just so it was great. It was a great Thanksgiving.
Spend on these hawks, man.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Jeez.
it was
Word. I didn't know you
beautiful.
were like that. Dang, 9 years?
9 years, nine
Man.
years. I remember it because every Thanksgiving that picture would pop up. Every Thanksgiving, just and
Oh,
so when they announced that it was Seattle versus 49ers in Seattle, I'm like, well, I'm either gonna have a great Thanksgiving or an awful
a terrible
Thanksgiving.
one. Yeah.
So um they put it at the end, which kind of was worse because it just you're
You go through
kind
the
of
whole day like
yeah,
hoping,
you
like, man, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
And it's one of those, that everyone's like, oh, well, the 49ers are way better. I'm like, yeah, yeah, theoretically, but this team has owned us. This team has beaten us over
Yeah,
and over
yeah.
again, even when we were better. Um, so it was just sweet. It was just sweet to beat those guys. But over the week, yesterday we had um some boxing. We had Benavidez versus Boo Boo, and I think this is the end for Boo Boo. The 35
Yeah.
year old. He is
Finally got his first big fight, and it was like,
yeah.
bro, really? Like, this is what we waited for? Like,
Canelo was right. You are a horrible fighter, and it just
yeah.
it kind of there's levels to this game. And when I was watching the fight yesterday, one of the things I kept thinking of Virgil Ortiz. Virgil Ortiz is a good fighter, very solid fighter, but he's never going to compete with the likes of Crawford and Spence and all these dudes. But he's a good fighter, and I think if he were to ever get into a fight with a bigger name like that, I think he would be owned, like Boo Boo was yesterday. But I want to start with Charlo because Charlo fought the other Benavidez brother, Jose
Yeah,
Benavidez,
Benavidez, yeah, junior, yeah.
and this was the Charlo that Canelo was supposed to fight because but this guy hadn't fought in like 890 days or something like that. They were saying yesterday. Um, and I just have a little thing. This guy now, I get Showtime for a while was trying, and PBC were trying to sell him as the boogeyman, and I get it. I get Jamal Charlo was the guy that they're trying to get in there, and Jermell was the one who ended up fighting Canelo. But this is just a complete hype job, right? Like that's all that was. Because the guy that I saw yesterday just would get owned like his brother versus Canelo.
I
Because
think, yeah,
Jose Benavidez, first of all, that guy didn't know how to protect himself. Two, he didn't know how to stand. Like this guy, I was laughing watching the fight because I'm like, dude, this guy has a horrible stance. He doesn't know how to protect himself. Like, how is this guy in this fight? Like,
yeah,
how is he not able to put him away? And I was like, there is no way that people actually believe that Jamal Charlo can beat Canelo or be more competitive than his brother. That has to be a complete hype job, right? Like that's not, unless I'm missing something. But the guy I saw yesterday, coming up of almost 3 years of not fighting, like you're not a real contender.
yeah, yeah. I think it's safe to say that we got Jermel has the other brother, the 154, the one fucking Canelo.
Yeah.
He's the more like motivated,
Mm-hmm.
probably disciplined of the two.
Yeah.
Um, and if he didn't look that great against Canelo, yeah, this one. I mean, also like he missed weight. It was a catch weight.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it wasn't like he was like 3 pounds over, three
Three
pounds over. And
pounds.
it's like, dude, like,
And then he's
yeah,
like, "Oh, I had 3 weeks of training camp." Like, what are you talking? Like, what?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I don't, yeah. And this is, I believe, so. This is the of the two brothers. This is the one that hadn't fought in so long because he had like outside the ring issues, like mental
Mm-hmm.
health type stuff. So I'm like, at this point, I'm like, maybe this guy shouldn't be, I don't know, fighting at this level, man. I don't know. Like, they got to figure some things out. Couldn't make weight. I think they gave him a chance to reweigh in to lose some weight, and he came in heavier after that.
Yeah.
Like point something after and it's like, didn't you go run or something? Or like, I don't know, man. Like,
What's wild because even after the fight, like he was like crying in the post game, and he's like, "Oh, I've been, just going through it," and you're just like, and then in the same breath, he says, "Next year I'm fighting 3, 4 times," and you're like, "Are you like really? Like,
yeah.
okay, okay,
Yeah,
like
which I'm
that's
like, if he does want to do that and fight, I'm like, hey man, like go ahead, get that boxing money. But it's like, do you want to do that? It's like I don't know, like I got to see it to believe it, because almost 3 years of not fighting, it's like you said with like Rogers in football. It's like, do you like? It's like, bro, do you like boxing? Like
mm-hmm.
like we got to see the activity.
Yeah." Yeah,
Yeah,
it was a weird fight because there's no like Jose Benavidez Jr. I mean, anybody that gets in the ring, shouts to you because you're tougher. You're tough. But it was just like, dude, like I was telling my uncle, I was watching the fight with my uncle and my stepdad, and I was telling them, I think this guy's just here because his brother is been like he's his brother is the main event.
yeah,
Like I don't know, I do not understand how he is the co-main event of this fight. Like who, like Jose Benavidez is like a nobody. And we saw what Crawford did to Jose Benavidez. Like,
even Danny Garcia
yeah.
beat him. Yeah,
And it's just like, how is this guy not like, how are you not putting this guy away? It was just super alarming. It was not
yeah.
from the Canelo standpoint, because that's like a different, that conversation is not, shouldn't even be had.
You shouldn't even be had. Yeah. It's like, oh
But just
yeah.
from the standpoint of like, this is Jermall Charlo, the dude that was supposedly this like
The
up
lion.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah, like this is this guy, and this guy, like you're not able to put
A
uh
welterweight away? Like,
yeah, and not even that, but a run of the mill, like
yeah.
like one of the like he's not even average, like below average skill wise in terms of like the way he stood, like he was punching and his feet were moving backwards. Like he looked like if one of us were to get in the ring and like try to like do something, like he was protecting himself like this. And obviously, if you're hearing this,
Yeah.
you
No,
can't see me,
right. Yeah.
but the fists are up, and you're
Yeah.
I'm laughing because I'm like, is this for real? Like
That's like Cholo style. Yeah. Like,
like what is he doing? And then he hit Charlo and he's like yapping at him and I'm just like, what is going on? Like so I think he got the fight because his brother's David Benavidez, but yeah, I just Jermall Charlo, I made a note because I was like, man, like this is there comes a time where you can be inactive for so long. The I think for the safety of his life, he should probably move on because it was so alarming to me that he couldn't put Jose Benavidez away because we know how this works. You're gone for a while, or you lose a fight. The next fight is a tune-up fight, so they give you a guy that you're supposed to beat. You're supposed to look good.
right.
It's what's going to happen on Saturday with Ryan Garcia. Ryan Garcia versus Duarte is supposed to look good. He's supposed to look like King Rai. He's supposed
Yeah.
to, and if he
He's be the
doesn't,
man. Yeah.
yeah, if he doesn't look that way, there's a problem. And now it becomes alarming. And that's why I wanted to just do this little thing on Jermall because it was alarming because the guy he was in the ring with just was not at his level. Because Jermall is a good, he has skill. And the fact that he wasn't able to put him away, the fact that he wasn't able to like really hurt him, and just to me was like, man, like that's weird. That's weird because this guy's supposed to be in the conversation with Crawford and Spence and Boo Boo and all these guys.
Right. Yeah.
Like I don't know if he beats Boo Boo. Like it was like that. It was to that level. Like if you
Yeah.
put a real dude in front of him, I don't know if he takes him out, but we'll see. Obviously, he said he wants to fight 3-4 times. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't believe that, but um, we'll see. We'll see how that goes. Um, but let's do David Benavidez. They the hype
Boo
chain
boo.
the hype chain on this is
It continues. It lives
out of
on.
it's out of control. So they called him his nickname given by Mike Tyson is the Mexican Monster. Showtime yesterday, the ring announcers were saying how, and it was funny because they were saying how he's really close to his grandma who's Ecuadorian, and his grandma had a big old like fit because it's like, wait, you're from Ecuador as well. You're
Half Ecuadorian. Yeah.
and then so he changed it to the monster. He's just the monster.
Yeah.
And I just thought it was funny because it's just what you and I have said. He's not the Mexican monster because up until a few years ago, he didn't even acknowledge the Mexican side. But then he saw that it sold tickets, so he
Yeah.
monikered
Clickbait.
all.
Yeah. Yeah.
So he gets, he's 26, so he's young. He's a young dude, and he gets the rings, he gets the belts, and I want to do the hype, and then we can do the fight. And they say this is the next up and coming Mexican superstar. And I was just like, but he's not even the representative of Mexico, but whatever.
Top of that, you're born in the U.S. too, so it's like, bro, like not even De La Hoya was called Mexican. Like, bro,
Yeah.
like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Um, is this just strictly because that made me think, okay. Because whenever this happens, I like to break it, because I have my opinions on it, and I think this is ridiculous. And there's only one Mexican superstar right now, and that's Canelo. And The other guy that could have been was Jaime Mujia, but
Yeah.
he's hot and cold, and he looks great one time and not so good the next time. And then you had El Zorro, you have Navarrete, who's like really exciting.
Yeah.
You have, so you have like these group of Mexican fighters that are good and exciting, and they
Yeah.
represent Mexico well. And I think, okay, so obviously you're gonna ignore all these guys because Navarrete just had a fight and it was exciting. So you're gonna say that Benavidez is at that level in terms of the Mexican side, but yet he doesn't like really represent us. One, two, he his he's a Gondorian. Nothing wrong with that. That's great. Then it makes you think, okay, this is strictly just to make himself more marketable when it comes to having a big fight versus a Canelo or whoever else. That's all it is, right? Like
Yeah. I think
that's as simple as it gets. Or
it's also paired up with just like a because he's at super middleweight. I think anyone that just doesn't like Canelo wants something to latch
mm,
onto.
yeah,
It's like when the Cowboys play. Cowboy fans are going to root for the Cowboys, but people that root against the Cowboys, they just root against whatever team they're playing because they don't like the Cowboys. You know what I mean? So I feel like people are quick to latch onto the whole Mexican Mosh thing because they just don't like Canelo. And so whatever Benavidez decides to call himself, they're just like, yeah, we're with him. And like, because I'll be looking at comment sections and I'm like, and also, yeah, he has an exciting style, right? Pressure fighter, hand speed, all that kind of stuff. I get it, and we've talked about this too with Canelo. Some guys don't like his style. They're just like, oh, he's not Mexican enough, Mexican style, blah blah. And it's like, and David does embody that with his, because he's bigger and stronger than most guys he fights. And Canelo, who's slick, has some defense, counter puncher,
yeah,
that just doesn't sit well with that old school Mexican crowd. So I think you got a pot like that, you stir it up, and you get stuff like this where people want to. On top of the fact, Mike Tyson kind of, endorsing you, so to speak, or giving you a name, a moniker,
mm-hmm.
that speaks volumes too. He's such a iconic figure in boxing. So, yeah, I mean, yeah, dude's got to calm down though. They need to settle down. This is just like
Yeah, because
it's
it's
it's starting to get annoying.
yeah, because it gets so low. Because I get because Triple G did it. Triple G did it. Triple G said, I fight Mexican style,
Mexican style, yeah,
and a bunch of Mexicans, ate it up. And I get that standpoint. Floyd for a long time, he would fight on Cinco de Mayo, and he would, he was like, oh, I love Mexicans, the whole thing. I get it. You're trying to sell tickets. We like boxing. We're gonna buy your fight. On board. But there is a different level though when you are endearing yourself to a crowd, because this is the stuff that De La Hoya, why De La Hoya was rejected, because Mexicans looked at De La Hoya and said, well, we don't connect with you. You don't tell our story. And they looked at Chavez and said, this guy's our guy. He represents us because he comes from where we come from. He speaks the language we speak. He's our dude. And it just baffles me that people look at Canelo and say, yeah, we don't identify with this guy.
we don't rock with this dude. Yeah,
And it's just like, because it's just like, well, his story is crazy. Like he sold lollipop popsicles, and he like grew up with nothing, and he had to fight, and he like, this is like, if he doesn't fight, if he's not a boxer, he's nothing. And he like came from all this way, and now he's one of the, like, this is he's the best boxer in this generation. Like, how is that not representative? And this, like, I look at David Benavidez and I think, like, man, this guy is a more Americanized De La Hoya. And if De La Hoya wasn't accepted by the Mexican community because he didn't represent us, How are we allowing this guy to be like to say, oh yeah, he represents us?
Yeah.
And I think this is, and I think you're right. I think it's strictly the hate for Canelo's that great,
Yeah.
and I think that's strictly what it is because it doesn't make sense from the endearing standpoint. I get from his standpoint, you sell more tickets, attaching your, claiming the Mexican side, and your dad carried the Mexican flag. 100% get it, but the crowd itself, like, how are you endeared to this guy? It just doesn't make any sense to me. But
Yeah, man. You see
like,
it more and more these days too. I think because people saw what happened with De La Hoya, guys like Andy Ruiz when he beat Joshua.
yeah,
He played heavily on first Mexican,
yeah.
first heavyweight of Mexican descent, kind of deal. Like,
I
yeah,
spoke to the president, blah blah blah.
people want to cash in on that, man. I mean, hey, I would too, bro. Dude, if I was out there, like, dude, I'd be like your boy Fred Warner with that Mexican flag on any field I stepped on. I'd be like, dude, Mexico me up, bro, any day.
I know,
Yeah,
but your story though would it make sense? You know what I'm saying? Like your story,
yeah,
like yours specifically, your
yeah,
story makes sense because you are a more Mexican version of De La Hoya.
right,
And because De La Hoya, to me, he's Mexican. He represents us. Like
yeah,
he's one of us. So that's what I mean. Like I think there is a level of like the whole De La Hoya thing was wrong because he is what he did. He is one of us. He did represent
yeah,
us. But Benavidez just it doesn't make any sense to me. It makes zero sense.
yeah,
And because there's nothing identifiable for me as a Mexican man, there's nothing identifiable that I look at David Benavidez and I think, yeah, this guy, yeah, I rock with this guy because
yeah,
he's one. It's like what happened with this happened specifically, I think, in combat sports because you saw this with McGregor,
right,
where Ireland was behind this guy, not just because he was Irish, because there was other Irish MMA fighters and UFC fighters before McGregor. But there was this distinct the way he spoke, his story that was like, no, no, this guy is like my cousin. Like
yeah,
I know a person
yeah, yeah, yeah,
like Conor McGregor. Like this guy works at the bar that I go to. You know what I'm saying? Like, and with
yeah,
Canelo, it's that. Like, dude, like my uncle sells popsicles or whatever. My cousin
yeah,
does that. Like, and so there was something so intrinsically connected to him that you're like, dude, this is like I feel like I know McGregor.
yeah.
And it happened with Pacquiao with the Philippines. Like I feel like I know him. Like this guy,
Yes, yeah, yeah, yeah.
and that's what I'm talking about. But that with Benavides, I'm like, dude, like
Dude,
there
you're
is
it's like half Mexican, half Ecuadorian. You train out of Seattle, but you're also from Phoenix. But then you want to claim Mexico, and it's like, what are we
and
doing here? Like,
like you and then like his story, like, oh well, people just didn't believe in me, so I just had to beat up people. I mean, like, okay, it's okay. So you're just a bully
oh,
because
that part.
people were
Okay,
mean to
that
you.
part pissed me off in the little Showtime video because I get he was a chubby little kid, and so he did this thing in that Showtime video where he was like, "Yeah, no one ever said I would be world champion when I was, and I'm like, bro, no one ever said that about any little kid like that. You think they were saying that about Canelo at 13? No, no one was saying, bro, no. I guarantee maybe Floyd, because Floyd, like, obviously his dad was a boxer, his uncle was a boxer. So yeah, but dude, most little kids at any little gym, no one's walking around saying, "Oh, this guy's gonna be world," and actually believes it. Like that's just like, you know,
Yeah.
so yeah, what he was saying, like I get it. Like it's kind of like the Caleb Plant thing when Caleb Plant fought Canelo. Like you got to put this chip on your shoulder, and I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
I get it, bro. You got to motivate yourself. But I'm like, no one was walking around saying like screw Benavidez when you were like 12 and overweight, bro. You're just overweight. Like that's just it. Nothing wrong with that. You just do your thing, man.
It's like the meme of there's this meme that about the rapper who's like, "Oh, my teacher never believed in me or whatever," and you're like, "Dude, your teacher was just telling you to do your homework, bro. Like,
Yeah,
calm
yeah,
down."
exactly. It's
Like,
like what? Like, yeah. Oh, yeah.
like
They were
I'm doing.
totally trying to diss you, bro. Yeah, they just want you to shut up in class.
Yeah.
Like, jeez.
When I saw that yesterday, I was like, "Are you like for real? Like this is your origin story? Like people were mean to you, so you had to beat them up? Like,
Yeah,
okay, like that is not at all. I don't connect with that at all. But it just to me, it's interesting. It's interesting how that people are like see him and like, oh well, this guy I connect with this story because Golovkin, his story that's more like as a I'm not saying he's more Mexican because that's not what I'm getting into. But just in story wise, you're like, dude, I can identify with Golovkin. Like I can
right.
identify with that guy. Like that guy, like that's real. Like
Yeah,
that's real what that guy went through. Or
yeah.
even
He just seems like salt of the earth, like bootstrap kind of guy. Like,
yeah,
and Mexicans identify with that. Like, they very much like just like their dad's getting bullied for work. That's just what
yeah,
that's what they know. Hard work. You know.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I think it's why like people like Floyd were so like likable in the Mexican community because we know about work. And Floyd's entire thing, obviously, it was money and it was the whole thing, but his entire thing was
Hard work.
all work is easy work.
Yeah.
And we identify with that. It's why Kobe was so beloved by Mexicans in LA because the guy just personified working hard.
Oh
So
yeah.
I think just this idea of Benavidez, I'm having such a hard time because I was just like, I don't understand your appeal. I don't understand. And if it's just strictly the Canelo hate, it's just like, dude, like you, like the dude from ESPN, Fightstone, Filestone, or whatever his name is.
Yeah. Fidelson. Yeah.
And it's just like, dude, like
That guy's a clown, bro.
you are a
Yeah.
miserable man that like
Oh yeah.
you just live off of like crapping on Mexicans. Like you're
Oh
you're a
yeah.
disgrace, bro. Like, but and maybe that's what's happening here, but I don't get it. I don't see it. But in terms of the fight, um so when they walked into the fight, there was a huge size difference, first of all, because Boo Boo is he's a small guy. Like he's really, 154 guy. This is only, he moved up to 160 and then this was his second fight at, middleweight, at super middleweight. He just looked out of his element. Like he just like it was one of those like, man, like you have no chance here. And he tried to come out fast and he tried to to go crazy in the beginning, but it was one of those like this isn't going to be sustainable because if you
Yeah.
watch the Boo Boo fight, you realize like this guy in the second half of the fights, he kind of tails off. So there was no way he was going to have the tempo to move around to keep Benavidez off. His power, like whatever power he had, wasn't translating to hurting Benavidez. And then he just stood still, and Benavidez just let it
Started teeing
go,
off.
and
Yeah.
it just was over. Like it was a fight that kind of by the third round it was like, okay, this just a matter of time because
Yeah.
Boo Boo wasn't going to be able to keep up um, with Benavidez or have the style or the stamina to hold him off like that. Did you see anything uh, in the fight that's different than that, or anything that stood out to you?
Just I think with this fight and then the plant fight, I still hold on to the fact and I still see that if I mean, obviously, Plant was able to do it for a little bit longer than Boo Boo, just kind of outbox, maneuver, jab and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I rewatched that fight a little bit, and I saw that there were some times early on when Plant was getting to him, and Benavidez didn't know what to do off the back foot. He didn't know what to do moving backwards,
Mm-hmm.
and that reminded me of the first time Triple G and Canelo fought, where Canelo was neutralizing him, and we saw that Triple G just didn't have anything in his arsenal to fight off the back foot, or without moving forward. And so I
Yeah.
did see Boo Boo. He landed a few combinations early on, and so that just lets me know because obviously it's funny, and Benavidez will bring this up in post fight interviews all the time, where he'll say that people want to question his defense and footwork and this and that, and I'm like, that's all true though. Everything we've seen in these fights doesn't point towards you knowing what to do with someone who would actually box really well. So I think if Canelo were to get in there with him, I'm like, you would finally be fighting someone that has some power and can box and would force you to use some defense and fight off the back foot, which no one has pushed him to do that yet because he's just bigger and stronger than everyone he's gotten in there with. So I'm
And
like,
to be, yeah.
for him to bring that up in interviews and say, "Oh, people are saying I have no defense," I'm like, yeah, we haven't seen you do that yet because you haven't fought anyone that's worthy of doing that. Like,
Yeah.
when Boo Boo was landing shots, they weren't doing anything to Benavidez. So I'm like, I, I mean, and Canelo says this all the time. He's like, yeah, guys want to run their mouths, and when they finally get in there with me, it's a different story. It happened to Charlo. It happened with Callum Smith, Triple G. They just don't know what to do
Mm-hmm.
once they get in there, and they realize that it's not as easy as they think it is.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's going to happen with him when he gets into Canelo. People love to point out like his hand speed. I'm sure you saw that video of him doing the thing with his hands.
Yeah.
And I'm like, did you not learn from Ryan Garcia doing that and then getting knocked out by Tank? I'm like, that doesn't matter. That doesn't work in a real fight. So yeah, I like, and you'll see replays of him beating up on Boo Boo and Plant. And I'm like, do you really think Canelo's just gonna stand there and let you hit him? Because
But
I'm like,
I
I'm
think
like,
that I think that's the key though, because they'll be like, the mention of the hand speed. It's like, well, yeah, but the guys are just standing there.
yeah,
Like if the guy's gonna stand in front of you, anybody can look like they have fast hands,
yeah,
but Canelo's not gonna stand in front of you like that. Like he's not
yeah.
you're not gonna just be able to land 3-4 straight shots in a row like that. And I think that's the part that when he talks about the defense part, like I agree with you. Like we haven't
Like,
seen it.
yeah, we haven't seen it yet. Yeah, I'm like,
So
what?
yeah, we are gonna question it because we haven't seen it. What do you like? Do we don't even know if you know how to cut off a ring?
Yeah,
Like, what are you gonna do when Canelo's just running circles on you and he's hitting you from angles you're not expecting because you don't know how to catch him? And what's probably gonna happen after I was watching yesterday, it's what happened with Triple G the first time. Oh, he ran the whole fight, blah blah blah.
oh yeah, yeah.
That's why he beat me. And then Canelo in the second fight was like, okay, I'll just stand here and I'll just still like whoop you.
I'll just move my waist and still make you miss and beat you up, dude. Yeah,
So it just I watching this, and I think another thing that stood out to me was he dropped Boo Boo, but he didn't knock him out. And if he's supposed to have this power, you couldn't get rid of him. Plant the same thing. Plant was a
oh
decision.
yeah, yeah.
So
Also, Plant. We said this when he fought Plant, but the only reason why he looked the way he did in the Plant fight was because there was a headbutt and a gash for the
mhm,
headbutt. That's why
yeah,
Plant was bloody. It
yeah,
wasn't because you were teeing off on him.
hmm,
If it's not for that head gash, you just went 12 rounds and won a decision against Plant.
yeah,
The Plant was looking good early on too.
yeah. So that kind of stuff stood out to me because you couldn't get those guys out. Like Boo Boo was, he was hurt, but it was his corner that said no more, which was a good stoppage. But
Yeah,
I don't know. This could be one of those, over exaggerated power because you went in there. Boo Boo, by all intents and purposes, like Boo Boo is not high level, but Boo Boo's a real good dude. He's a real champion. and he kind of stood there. This reminded me of the Golovkin versus um
Kilbrook.
Kilbrook. Yeah.
Yeah.
It reminded me of that fight because Kilbrook had success. He was able to land shots. You could tell, like, okay,
He was
this
making him
was,
uncomfortable with his movement.
yeah, and it was one
Yeah.
of those things where, and I remember you and I talked about it, and I remember telling you, like, it was after that fight that I was super confident that Canelo would beat him because Canelo's he's a souped up Kilbrook, and
Yeah.
yesterday was one of the was very similar because Boobu in the beginning was able to get in, he was able to land shots, and I'm like, dude, Canelo's gonna do this all night. He's gonna get inside you. He's gonna take away your advantage of the length, and he's gonna get in you, and he's just gonna rip you. And you're not gonna be able to keep him off. He has the footwork to like get off and bounce off, and he like it's just gonna be a different story because Boo Boo was just he was too small. He was too little.
Yeah.
And it also allowed me to realize like Crawford is better than Boo Boo, but Canelo's bigger than Crawford. Like we would see something similar
Yeah.
where Crawford would have some success because he's really good. And you saw the success of Boo Boo because Boo Boo has some skill. But I mean, it just there's a reason why there's weight classes. And I think that's kind of like my takeaway was from those two from that standpoint. Canelo was gonna get inside Benavidez and he's too big for Crawford. But do you think that happens next? Do you think Canelo Benavidez is the Cinco de Mayo fight?
I hope so. Yeah. I
It almost seems like it kind of has to be, huh?
yeah. I think it's time, man. I think because I'm also thinking of this. The longer Canelo waits, the smaller the window gets where his Canelo will be coming out of his prime.
Mm-hmm.
And but at the same time, I don't want the excuse of Benavidez as he gets older can no longer make 168. I don't want there to be a fight at 168 where it happens a little bit too late and Benavidez starts saying, "Yeah, well, yeah, it's been harder to make that weight at 168, so that's why I lost to Canelo because that like my body just started because he's already been saying that I think he said if Canelo doesn't fight him, he's moving up to 175 to fight Bivol. So I don't want him having that built-in excuse of like, oh well, I beat all the other contenders at 160. I beat them, and I'm already moving up. I was too weight trained to fight Canelo and this and that. And I can already see that they're already going to be saying that because he's a big 168. So I think Canelo's got to make that fight sooner than later.
Yeah.
Because then the excuse will start coming in the longer he waits.
I think I don't know what other fight really makes sense for Canelo. Financially, um, in every sense. If he fights Jamal, I just like
Oh, that's terrible. That's a bad look.
for yeah, exactly.
We'd all be in the back screaming like, "Bro, no one asked for this. Why did you fight this guy?" Like,
Yeah, like it
you
just
know,
the only one that would make sense just because it's like it's in Canelo's heart is Bivol. It's like, okay, like
yeah,
you're
yeah.
insisting on
It'd be
fighting
avenging
him
a
again.
loss. Yeah,
But outside of Bivol, to not fight Benavidez in May is a bad luck.
oh yeah,
And I think our guy is gonna fight him in May because I think after yesterday, the hype is gonna be all time high. People are gonna buy it. It's no longer Showtime, so I don't know if this goes to like the Zone or Amazon steps in or Apple or ESPN. Who the hell knows what's gonna happen? But um, it's gonna be on something, and it's gonna generate a bunch of money. So Yeah, man. I think it happens just because of the incentive and the time is now for something like this. The thing that I'm getting already frustrated and the fight hasn't even happened is the excuses.
Oh yeah,
Because if Canelo beats him or when Canelo beats him, it's gonna be, oh well, he's a big he should have been fighting at 175. Um Canelo was too fast.
Canelo ran.
Like it's just, and I'm already getting frustrated for it because it just there's no winning. There's no winning in this. But I want to see it because I just want to see Canelo beat this guy.
I just want to see Benavidez lose. That's yeah.
I just I just want to see him lose because it's out of control. It's out of control. This whole
I
talk
want to
of
see his dad after the
Benavidez.
fight. I want to see his dad eat his words. Senior. I want Senior to just, oh yeah, dude, man.
It's just I don't understand how people don't see it though. Because it's like if you just watch, you just understand like the styles make fights. That's what happens. You just watching, you're just like, okay, like you and I, after we watched the Caleb Plant fight, we kind of walked through it, how the Canelo fight would go, and it went exactly how we thought it was going to go. So I just don't understand. But I think that fight is happening next Cinco de Mayo weekend. Canelo versus David Benavidez in Vegas, probably, or Saudi Arabia. Who knows?
Yeah, I'm ready. Oh man,
Yeah, that should be really good. Anything else on David Benavidez and Boo Boo?
not okay with Boo Boo,
Yeah.
and this is not to like because you've said like, he's got some skills, but they're okay. So my friend Trevor, right?
Mm-hmm.
He has a friend like I don't know if he's a coach somewhere down in LA. I don't know his name, but anyway, this guy was saying that Boo Boo was going to surprise people, and that Boo Boo was like, because of his like Olympic experience and whatnot. So there was a small but yet existent amount of people that were saying, "Oh, dude, Boo Boo's gonna surprise people." Blah, blah. I even saw a video of like Robert Garcia. No, Boo Boo's got skill. This is that. Like Boo Boo's gonna turn some heads. And I'm like, I mean, if you just watch his fights, that's not true. Like I've seen Boo Boo fights where he had trouble putting away guys that were like tomato cans.
Yeah.
There was no reason for me to believe that he was going to do well against Benavidez. And I wish we'd made a pod before the fight so we could have gotten that on the record. Because now I'm just sounding like a guy that's saying this after the fact. But
Yeah.
I'm like, who in their right mind would have thought? And like you brought it up. I'm glad you brought this up. But that interview with Canelo where Boo Boo pulled up and he was trying to, Canelo said, he's like, dude, you're a horrible fighter. He's like, you fight
Yeah.
with nobody. And I think that showed last night, dude. You're 35. You just not got your big fight. And you didn't show out. It wasn't like it was like a 12-round war. It's like, man, like really? This was the most, you were saying it, the most avoided man in boxing. I'm like,
But I mean, I think we know how this works now. Like, I think that whole thing is a selling point. It's a selling point.
yeah,
Because it's guys like this that they need to make, and promoters. You gotta sell a fighter one way or the other, and they do become the most avoided, but not for the reasons
but they
that
want
they
us to think.
think.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's not because you're super scary. It's not because Golovkin really was for a while avoided. Like people were avoiding Golovkin,
yeah,
and that is true. You had when Cotto was the champion at 160. Cotto was like, I'm not even a true middleweight, and he
yeah.
just refused to fight. So all that is true for Golovkin, but Boo Boo was not avoided because he was really good. It's just everyone knew, like, well, this guy doesn't have the skill to fight at the elite
Can't
level.
sell tickets.
Like
Like, yeah,
it's almost he's like the poor man's version of the Crawford thing. Because remember, Crawford for a long time just only fought in
right.
Nebraska, only fought there. And when he went to fight somewhere else, he couldn't sell tickets. But Crawford is really good. The problem is Crawford just couldn't sell himself. He didn't know how. But everybody knew, like, oh, this guy's really good. And I think with Boo Boo is the the bad version of that, where he wasn't that good. He has skill enough to get these belts, but at the highest level, this guy
Yeah,
is not there. And I think that was put on full display yesterday, where he he was a guy that didn't realize there's levels to this. And the best example that I can think of is when you get an upset in college football, for example. You get an upset in college football, and these happen every once in a while, where it's like a gigantic upset, like a real upset. And the next week, that team will go and they'll play another team that's unranked, and the conversation, oh, could this be it? And the other team will play on the exact same way, and they'll get run through. And he's just like, dude, this is a one-time thing, man. Like,
yeah,
yeah. There's levels to this, and yeah,
yeah,
certain nights maybe you can get lucky and look really, really good, but there's levels to this game, and I think that's what it was yesterday with Boo Boo. Like, he's talented enough to get to where he got, but at the highest level, where Benavidez, I think, is below that. I don't think he's at the highest level either, but to compete with Benavidez, he didn't have the skills to even be in that ring yesterday. So, yeah, it was,
yeah,
and at the end, it happens. It
yeah.
goes. 35-year-old, you finally get your big break, and you get the brakes beaten off of you, and it just it's the way it goes.
It
You
is what it
cash
is. Yeah.
you cash your big check, and I'm sure somebody's gonna pay him to be an analyst somewhere. And
Maybe you should fight Charlo next. You should fight Jamal. Just get those two to
yeah, there you go. Jamal wants to fight 4 times. He could be
yeah. See who really wants it. Who really
one of the
thinks there's
four.
who's got the dog in him.
He
Yeah.
should fight Plant too. I'd watch
Yeah,
that one.
yeah. No Plant. Yeah, hey, I'm like you said. I'm all in on Plant. I like Plant.
Yeah,
You know.
yeah. He should
Yeah.
fight Boo Boo, fight Plant. Um, I don't know, Crawford or Spence, either or
Yeah.
both.
Hell, Avi, dude, Mungia, get in
Mungia,
there. Come on, man. Let's.
although
I want to see some
Mungia,
action from Mungia, man. I want to love him. I want to love him so much. I'm like, come on, dude. But I need to see it from him.
me too. You gave me grief last time when I was trying to like jump on the
No,
train.
I did. I'm I'm in the mindset like we got to support them when they but it's like you have to give me something to want to support you for. You know what I mean? Like you got to show me you're putting in that work. You
Mungia's
know,
more protected than than what's his name?
Berlanga or what?
No, Berlanga. Berlanga. Oh my
Nah,
god.
Berlanga's like super protected, bro.
Then
Yeah.
Tank.
Oh, Tank. Yeah, yeah.
I just how old is Mungia? Mungia is almost 40, like 30, I mean. Like, bro, there has to come a time where this guy, you have to let him out. Like, this is crazy. He's
Yeah.
27. I just don't understand. Like, let this guy out. Like, let him fight somebody. So
I like that he's with Freddie Roach. I think that's good.
does that mean anything anymore? Like, does it really mean anything?
I think with Mungia's style, like a kind of offensive based style, kind of help him harness that. Kind of like with Pacquiao. Like with Pacquiao, he didn't need to have like great defense, but he just needed to showcase like his speed and his strength.
No,
And
I
I
know,
think with
but I mean,
I think Mungia just you just need to like unleash him in a certain direction. and give him, like an outlet for his skill set.
No, I
Because
get
obviously
it,
we know
but
he's not going to be the most like well-rounded. He's not going to be like defensive, but it's kind of like what we want to see out of AJ. It's like, dude, you just gotta let your hands go. I want to see you let your hands go and actually like be aggressive and know how to use it to live up to his potential. Because I think people want Munguia to kind of like Canelo, but it's like, bro, that's a tall order. Like no one's fighting like Canelo.
yeah.
I want to see that. I with Munguia, I do want to see that old school Mexican, like like Barrera, like that. I just want to see. I want to see chaos. Hurt some dudes. That's what I want to see.
Yeah,
Just give me
but
the exciting fights.
no, but I mean it from the standpoint of like Freddie Roach is old, man. Like when Pacquiao went to Freddie Roach was still like Freddie Roach.
Yeah.
Where now when anybody's like, "Oh, Freddie Roach is his trainer," I'm like, "Okay, or okay, like cool." Well, what does that mean? Like, I don't know, I don't know what that means. Like, is that are we supposed to be? I don't know. Like, I don't even know what that even means. Because, but also this gets maybe we can do another pot on this. Because I was thinking about this. Do trainers matter anymore in boxing?
Oh.
Like,
Oh.
and we can have a big conversation
Right.
on
Right.
this
No. Yeah. Yeah.
next
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
But I was just thinking, like, man, like I like Eddie Reynoso, but I've also seen Eddie Reynoso with other fighters that are not Canelo, and it's just like, yeah, dude, I don't know, like you kind of like I remember when I was watching the last when I was watching the Shakur Stevenson versus
Valdez.
Valdez,
Yeah.
and but from to me it felt like Valdez was doing like a very bad imitation of Canelo. And I just think like, man, like Valdez's skill set is not that, obviously. Like why how come you're not unleashing him? He was gonna lose either way, but like that it made me think like, man, like he's good. Like Eddie Reynoso's a good trainer because he'll say stuff. You're like, dude, that's smart. Like, yeah, but is he good with Canelo only? Like, are we at a level where trainers are only good for one guy? And this idea that you can get a trainer and bring in a trainer and he's going to guide you through it. I wonder if that is like kind of dead for the moment because Tyson, for example, the way Tyson talks about um, his trainer and how he led him and how he doesn't get to where he's at without him and the whole thing. And you think of that and you're like, man, like, does that even exist
This
anymore?
is this is Mike Tyson, right?
Mike
With
Tyson, yeah,
Customato. Yeah. Yeah.
with Customer, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, does that even happen anymore? But that's we can
That's
well
oh
like
that's a good one. But yeah, no, I we should save that. That's
because it's just like I don't know, like I don't know if it means anything anymore. Like I don't know, like it meant something before, like when Cotto went with Freddie Roach, Cotto changed his style. That was a different style, and you can see it, like, oh man, like
yeah.
Freddie Roach unlocked this offensive side. But I don't know if present where we stand now, if that even matters. Like Ryan Garcia goes, he's on his third trainer now, and I just think, well, does it really even matter? Like, are we gonna see a different Ryan Garcia? Like, it seemed like from his change of trainer from Eddie, he got worse. So I don't know. I don't know. It's just something that I've been thinking about. Um,
Yeah.
so I know when you brought up Freddie Roach, I just thought like, well, I mean,
Yeah.
it
I
used to
think
matter.
I think it um I don't know, maybe I agree or disagree, but it kind of feels like maybe today's fighters, I don't know. It could be like a generation thing, but like
Hmm.
with Ryan specifically, it kind of feels like nowadays fighters just want like a yes man coach around them, so to speak.
Yeah.
And I feel like that wasn't the case back then. Like okay, for example, the Golden Boy, the documentary.
Yeah.
When he brought in that older Mexican, I can't remember his name, but
Yeah.
that one coach that he brought in after his like initial amateur coach.
Hmm.
Um, I
And that
feel
guy
like
really
that.
unlocked him.
Yeah, I feel like it really elevated his game, and he said he's like Oscar was willing to do everything I told him to do, like, and even Oscar throughout his career had several other trainers, right?
Hmm.
Um, but I kind of and we say this in mute. There's like a video of this like jazz musician that I like, but he was talking about how there's a problem he sees nowadays with like young musicians and like their mentors or teachers. And he's like, a lot of guys just want you to tell you how great they are. Like they just want you to teach them and just, and it's like, no, maybe you suck. Like more guys are used to telling them
Mm,
that they're bad at something, and they just
yeah.
want to be validated.
Right.
Um, and I kind of feel that with this modern era of boxers, where it's like, I don't know, man, maybe get a trainer that's going to push you. Like I don't know, like try something that's out of your comfort zone, and
Yeah.
um, and I don't want to pick on Ryan, but with Ryan, I kind of see that where it's like he just had his dad for a while, then Eddie, and I kind of felt like Joe Goosen was that yes man kind of vibe
Hmm.
where it's like he's just there to look good and say, oh, but
Yeah.
I don't know, man, go with a trainer that's gonna, actually challenge you and pour into you and show you some new stuff. And I feel like a lot of guys a lot of guys think they got it figured out already. They think they know it all.
Yeah, because you do see this like in MMA, you do get the camps.
Right,
And if you go to this camp fights this way, and you see it. Like the
right,
fighters that are from this camp fight this way, and therefore like you're able to see.
right.
And that used to be the case of boxing, but it's not the case anymore. And that's I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing. I don't know. Like it could be good, maybe. Um, but it just made me think, like, with more I thought of this yesterday when I was watching the Benavidez fight. Both of them, the both Benavidez brothers,
Yeah,
because their dad is the trainer.
yeah.
And I think like, well, I mean, that's kind of hard because,
It's like, what's his resume? Like, what qualifies him to be like,
but not only that, but he's your dad. Like he's gonna be
yeah,
too emotional to like tell you anything that's like that would make sense. Or if you're really getting hurt in there, is he gonna be able to like pull it, like be like, dude, like, no, this
I
isn't
gotta call
working.
it. Yeah,
Um, because he's financially invested, he's your dad, like so he's emotionally invested. Like that's almost too much for someone to have too many ties to be a trainer as well. Like that's because you saw that towards like the Pacquiao and Freddie Roach thing, where Freddie Roach was like, dude, like all your friends are like, I tell you one thing and they're like telling you the opposite, and you're listening to them. Like I'm who's the trainer here.
yeah,
So um yeah, dude, like it's weird. Like it's a weird shift we have going on right now. But
yeah,
we can
yeah.
table it. Did you see the Shakur Stevenson fight?
I did not.
Well, you didn't miss anything.
That's what I heard. I went online and I was like the little black kid with the Popeyes cup, like just kind of like the side eye. I was like, yikes! I was like, damn. Um, yeah, I just saw that it was just boring. I saw a few little clips of him, him running around the ring and whatnot, and I was yeah, well, and also wasn't it free? Was it free on TV?
It was on ESPN, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, man.
It was it was bad. It was bad. It was the second lowest like punches
I saw that the stats. Yeah,
landed and thrown. And it was only second to the Rigondeaux fight he had. um, a few years ago. It was bad. It was it was. I like boxing. I like boxers. I like dudes that make you miss. I like the sweet science. I
Can
do.
land efficiently. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. It's why I think I was a pro Mayweather guy for a long time. But there was a brutal fight, man, because they weren't throwing, like they were just not throwing
Yeah, I heard
punches.
people were booing because there was just no
Yeah.
activity. Like,
There
dude,
was
no one wants
just
to throw hands. Yeah.
and it was just and after they asked Stevenson and he just was like, oh, to make excuses. And they were like asking him, like, oh, like, how's your hand? Like, did you hurt your hand? And he kind of was like weird about it. Like, he didn't want to say yes or no. And I was like, well, there has to be a reason for why this fight sucked, dude. Like, give
Yeah.
us some, like, because if you say, oh, dude, I broke my hand. Okay.
See,
Like, dude,
I hate when boxers do that. It's so annoying. I hate
when they do what?
when something is wrong, like whether
Like,
it's an
just say
injury.
it.
I'm like,
Yeah.
bro, just say it. Like, no one's. It'd be okay. It's because I get it. It's one thing to be like, oh, dude, I like say you lose or something, and it's because of some like an injury or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It comes off as an excuse, but it's like, dude, I mean, it is what it is. It happened. So I remember even with like Tank and Pitbull, like that fight, people wanted Tank to knock him out. And he was like, yeah, I messed up my hand. Like, dude, if you messed up your hand, then just say you messed up your hand. Like,
Yeah.
I'm cool with that. I'd rather know that you messed up your hand and that's why that performance was that way than you saying, oh, nothing's wrong, no excuses. It's like, well, then why did you look the way you looked during the fight, bro?
Yeah.
Like,
Cause
I
it's like,
didn't.
well, that, yeah, exactly.
Why weren't you Shakur? Like, you know what I mean?
It made,
Because we've seen Shakur look better in other fights, where it's like
yeah.
he still does the boxing thing and he still lands a lot more. He's still efficient. He still doesn't like move around as much. We know he can do all that. So with this one, it's like, dude, no one's gonna knock you if you tell us you weren't 100%. Just tell us you weren't 100%.
I remember watching the Rigondeaux fight, the one that the lowest punches thrown and landed, because I was when Rigondeaux beat Nonito Nonair, and he schooled him. He sent him to school, and it was a beautiful boxing exhibition. Boxing, just and I remember just being like, man, this is like the highest level of like boxing, Rigondeaux. And I was watching it with a friend, and we are gonna watch the Rigondeaux fight because he's like into boxing, and I was like, man, and I was like hyping Rigondeaux up as a like tactician, kind of like I'm like, dude, this is like Lomachenko, but like a little elevated Lomachenko. And then it just was a snoozer, bro. It was a sucked. And he was giving me crap the whole night after the fight. Like, oh no, German's boy. This guy just puts people to sleep.
Dude, yeah.
And just and that's what there was on Thursday. It was so bad. It was just like, man, I'm so glad I'm not watching this with anybody. I'm so glad I didn't tell anybody, oh dude, check
Dude,
out this
tune in
fight.
for this guy. Yeah, yeah.
But it was bad. It was so bad. I wish he would have said it, like what you're saying, like, dude, because
Yeah.
it makes sense. Because now it's like, okay, well, Edwin de los Santos is not at your level, so what's up? Like, what happened? Like,
Yeah.
it was weird. It was a boring fight. Because typically when people say, "Oh, it was a boring fight," I'm like, okay, like you're just telling on yourself. You don't know, you don't like boxing.
Right.
But this one, I think only people that like boxing watch that fight, and all of us were like, "Yeah,
And
man,
even they were bored.
like this fight sucked. Like
Yeah.
this was this was a boring fight.
And for him, what makes it worse is that he talks so much crap these
So
days.
much crap.
And
Oh my
it's like,
god.
dude, you can't do that. You can't talk that way and then present these kind of fights. At least without warranting, like, oh, my hand was messed up. It's like, dude, but yeah, man. You can't call Haney a snooze fest too if you're delivering a snooze fest too. It's like, come
Yeah.
on, you know?
Yeah, I'd like to ask these boxers, these young, especially these young black boxers, please stop, please stop, please stop calling yourself the next Floyd Money Mayweather, please, because
Oh, good, good. I'm glad you brought this up. Good.
go back and look at Floyd Pretty Boy Mayweather,
Yeah, look at Floyd 135.
not Money, not that guy, because that guy already had his hands messed up. His beats. Go look at
And he was
Pretty
fighting,
Boy.
and he was fighting at heavier weights too.
Yeah.
When he was fighting, he like that's what I'm saying. Like when Floyd was fighting 154, one like that,
Mm-hmm.
he was not that big. But those
Go.
smaller weights, dude, did you see what he did to Gotti? I was like,
Ooh,
and Gotti's like, all time
yeah.
fighter. I'm like, dude, really? Like, yeah, man, just
That
running through guys.
yeah, go look at your like Pretty Boy Mayweather. And that guy was letting his hands go, his
Yeah,
defense was there, but he was
standing in the
put he was
pocket.
he was
Yeah,
dropping dudes. So please stop saying you're that guy. Please.
yeah.
Because it's you look stupid doing that. That's what you look dumb. Just just trying to be like Floyd. Which Floyd? Because even Money Mayweather didn't look this bad. Money Mayweather when he fought Canelo, I remember that the most to this day the most shocking thing of that fight was that Mayweather was walking Canelo down because Canelo was younger. He was the whole thing, inexperienced, whatever. But I was like, you know what? One thing that's not going to happen in this fight, Floyd's not going to walk him down because Floyd is smaller. Canelo at least is going to know how to use his body. Didn't. And Floyd walked him down. When he fought Cotto, he walked him down. And that was so surprising because you're like, dude, like this guy has enough juice, enough power to walk you down. And that's crazy. He doesn't have the hands anymore to drop you, but he has enough to keep you away. And that's crazy. But I just I just needed to say that. They need to stop. The announcers and the people, the production need to stop
Yeah, yeah.
bringing up Floyd, and these guys need to stop talking about Floyd because Pretty Boy Floyd is a different level. He's a different cat. Like we need to leave that. We had it's. I had this conversation with my friend last week after the Chiefs Eagle game. And they're like, "Oh, it's because Mahomes doesn't have anybody." And blah blah blah. And I'm like, "Bro, if you're trying to be the GOAT, I don't want to hear that." Tom Brady made it to the AFC Championship game with Jabbar Gaffney, bro. Like, I don't.
Yeah.
If you're in the GOAT conversation, you got to make it work. You have who you have. Brady had nobody, so I feel zero bad. I don't feel any
Oh
bad.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's the same here. Like, bro, like if we try to talk about Floyd Mayweather, I need to see something. I need to see Pretty Boy Mayweather if you're trying to
Yeah.
do that. So I need to say that because Shakur's out here doing that. Haney's out there doing that. What was funny is Haney was saying how Shakur Stevenson is not worth 3%. And that's the cut he would get if he were to fight him.
Jesus.
So that was funny. Um, but yeah, they need to stop. They need to stop with this madness. Leave Floyd Mayweather alone, man.
Yeah.
That guy was a legend. Um, let's do Ryan Garcia. He fights this Saturday. I mean, I guess we'll see, right? I don't know. He should beat Duarte. Duarte's
And yeah, I think you should beat him.
he's
Yeah.
a run of the mill dude. Um, I kind of don't even know what to say about Ryan. I want to just see him fight. Like I just haven't seen him in a while. He's more tatted up. Um,
Dude,
His
if Ryan doesn't win, then it's like, bro, let's just
it's over, right?
let's yeah, so, yeah, let's wrap it up. You
Like
know,
his boy is Mayweather now, apparently. Like that's his mentor. I saw that like I was watching this like promo thing he did. It came out on the zone and he was saying like I'm never gonna lose again. And you just like oh,
yeah,
okay, okay, cool.
yeah,
All right.
yeah, man.
Okay. Um
Do
he
you,
should win. I don't know.
yeah, you should win. Yeah, and it's I think I mentioned this like before the pod, but like it's been kind of quiet like about the fight, like so. Yeah, this should be a little tune up. I expect him to win, but win in spectacular fashion. And yeah, after that, yeah, the real question is after that, it's like, do you? Because remember, there was a period when Ryan before Tank was just fighting like these tomato cans, like just regular guys,
Yeah.
and it felt like every time he fought, we're like, okay, when is he actually gonna make the jump to fight a top tier guy?
Mm-hmm.
And so now that he has that loss, we're like, okay, after this fight, is he gonna fight another Duarte? Is he gonna find another dude to just kind of beat up on, or are we getting a big fight after that? Because they were already saying that they'd meet offers to like Delfimo Lopez, So it's like after this fight, I want to know what Ryan's thing is gonna be come like the spring of next year. It's like, what is his move gonna be? That's what I'm interested in. Because this one, I'm like, all right, this should be business as usual. This should be
Yeah.
run through this guy. Let's see how you look with Derek James. Let's see if you look any different than you've looked in the last couple of years. So, but yeah, after that, it's like, are we getting same old Ryan, or are we actually going to see you attempt to, fight someone who's worth watching? Because
Mm-hmm.
also like the big thing with that fight with Tank is like, oh, I was drained at 135. All right, cool. So you're fighting guys at 140 now. I better see, you better be able to cash those checks if your mouth is writing them. So
Well, he said he's never losing again.
yeah,
So, which looks great on the promo, but yeah, I don't even know what to do with. I feel like we've
yeah.
had so many Ryan Garcia conversations.
It's okay, Drew. You've already checked out. I know. After the Tank, like no, like after the Tank fight, you were like, dang, dude, like this guy, like I think you've seen all we need to see, or like know what we need to know about him. Kind of like you
It
with
just
AJ. Like with AJ, you were kind of like, dude, after the second Usyk loss, you're like, I'm off it forever. I'm done with
yeah
AJ. I feel like you're done with Brian. Like you've already, and I still have hope just for the sake of seeing exciting fights. Not because I like him, but I just want him to deliver exciting fights. You know, but he's
yeah
so young. He's so young. It's like, dude, you gotta at least, you know, give us some good fights.
yeah. Because he was never our guy. We made fun of Adrian and Sam for this. It's just I don't. I mean, you're 25. You're 25 years old, so you're approaching
Your prime.
the prime of your career. Um, you were sold to us as the next face of boxing after
The next
Canelo.
Oscar De La Hoya, the next Canelo, all this stuff.
Um, and that's another one. Like, leave Deloy alone. Like, he's a train wreck personally, but as a boxer, like the guy was amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Like, I don't like. Can we just see it? Like, can we just? He's. I feel about Ryan like what I feel about Mungia. Like, can I just see them fight? Like, can I just see them have one significant moment in their career, like one like good significant moment. I just don't understand the like what is next. Like I get the hype, I get it. He's super talented. He has a skill set. I thought he was gonna be Tank. I did. I thought like, dude, like this guy is a bigger guy. He has the skills. He has the hand speed. Like, so it's there, but it's just, are you ever going to put it together? I don't know. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I'm pretty much tapped out on Ryan. Um, I'll wait till next year to have a if he fights Haney or any relevant dude at 140, because that's what needs to happen. If he fight, if he, I'm assuming he's winning on Saturday, but if he has another tune-up fight in 2024, then it's like, okay, well, what are we doing? And how many times is he going to fight in 2024?
Yeah.
Because that's another thing. Like, none of these guys are fighting. And it's so annoying. Like, dude, like, you guys should be fighting 3, 4 times a year.
Oh
And they're
yeah.
not. And it's,
Especially being this young. It's like, come on, man. This is when you put in that work.
yeah. So we'll see. Ryan Garcia, Saturday night. I think it's here in the Toyota Center. I think it's here in like Anaheim or something like that. Tickets are still available according to the zone. So if anybody wants to wants to make their way to watch Ryan Garcia versus Duarte,
Go ahead.
go for it. A fight. I wanted to get your thoughts on this because this is. I am a big. I'm a snob when it comes to a few things. I'm a snob when it comes to coffee. I'm a snob when it comes um, to Bible commentary, and I'm a snob when it comes to boxing. I don't buy these cross stuff. I don't do it. I don't buy when a boxer fights an MMA guy. That's not boxing. I won't endorse it. I won't support it financially. We had Francis Ngannou versus Tyson Fury happen in October. And I thought that's what it was. They're trying to cash checks. Ngannou doesn't fight for UFC anymore, so he's really desperate to fight checks. And we did a whole thing on Fury on just his reluctance to want to fight Usyk. Made no sense. We're like, okay, he's just trying to cash the Ngannou check. I ended up seeing the fight. And I thought it was going to be, what these fights are. The MMA guy is going to, look kind of okay because he's still a combat fighter, and he's a fighter, and Ngannou's a big, big man. So obviously, I didn't think he was, Fury was going to run through him. But Ngannou looked like a real guy. Like
Yeah.
looked like he looked like a real guy.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it. It was thankfully because I'm not as involved in these things. My, what I was putting out there was very limited because I didn't I didn't spend any time on it. But so I'm thankful for that I didn't have to eat my words and trash the MMA guy. But I was like, what the hell is going on? And Ghana looks like a real fighter, like a real boxer.
Yeah.
Now between you and I, you like MMA. That's your thing. Were you surprised at all? Like, did that surprise you, or was that like were you like, no, this makes sense that he would be that this is what would happen, that he would look good.
I I would say I was surprised just because he did as well as he did. I was like, whoa. I was like, okay. First off, Fury, like I mean, you said like, dude, he did not look in shape. Did
Mm-hmm.
not look great.
Yeah.
So between that and then it looks like, obviously Francis put in some time, put in some, and he's not in contract with UFC. he could have worked his ass off for this fight. He could have just, and it looks as that's like what he did because man, the way he was moving, I was like, I remember when McGregor fought Mayweather, and you could tell just from the movements, the body mechanics, being in the ring as a boxer versus what they do in MMA, very different, right? The
Hmm.
stances are different, the way you put your weight into the punches, things like
Right.
that. Using a jab, you knowing how to move your waist, move your head. Because in MMA, you can't really that kind of stuff doesn't matter as much because you can just get kicked. Whereas like if you have to watch out for punches, moving your waist and head movement matters. But when you can grapple and throw kicks, like you're not as inclined to move your body in that way. But yeah, I saw Francis like slip a few punches, and I was just like, there was one where it kind of looked like a Canelo highlight when Canelo was like, um, slipping punches against like Danny Jacobs, like the way he just
Yeah.
kind of, I was like,
Hmm.
oh, I was like, Ngannou, like what, dang, um, yeah. And I should say this to his credit, he, I know that he's willing to work and improve himself because when he lost to Stipe Miocic the first time he fought, he was just a puncher in MMA. He had that amazing power. And he got out wrestled by Miocic, and he after that fight he worked on his grappling. He worked, and I think you saw the second fight with Miocic, and he looked a whole lot better with that. There was improvements in that area of his game. So him just looking decent as a boxer just tells me that he's willing to improve and work on things. Now, granted, I don't know what he's gonna do with that, or like if he's even planning on competing in boxing. I don't know, but it was pretty dang cool to see him just kind of move around like that and show, hey, I can put my mind to it and I can box.
Yeah.
And so part of me is wondering because I'm sure you saw those clips of him with like Tyson, like working on the bag, or
Hmm.
he looked pretty awful. He looked pretty slow. He looked just
Yeah.
like, but in my mind, I'm like, dude, was that a tactic? Was he just looking like that could have been the end of his workout where he's like completely dead?
Hmm.
And I'm like, was that just like a disguise? Because he did not look, he looked solid. Like you said, he looked good.
Yeah. Like it.
I was very impressed with how he looked in there. I was like, man,
Yeah. Yeah. It was, we've seen our fair share of heavyweights and we've seen some really bad ones and good ones. And that was I'm like, dude, like I've seen worse performances
yeah, I've
from,
seen like undercards with like guys that have like a few fights that I'm like, these guys are okay.
yeah. And it just, that obviously gets to Francis Ngannou had the time. One, he has the athleticism at 37 to be able to switch up the entire thinking. Because I think if there's a different mental understanding of a boxer and an MMA guy because your whole understanding of what the fight is, what your opponent's going to do, how your opponent's going to attack you is very different. That you see these kind of things where when you see highlights of the Paul brothers when they fight the MMA dudes, you'll see like the MMA guy sometimes is tempted to like get into like some MMA thing, grapple or whatever.
Right, right.
And then Ngannou had none of that. There was none, no, like he mentally he understood I'm in a boxing fight. I'm boxing. Um, I just it's that happened October 28th. That's when this fight happened. And I just can't get over how good Francis Ngannou looked. I'm not saying he's gonna like become a champion in boxing. I'm not saying that, but just like is he too old to make it?
In boxing,
Yeah.
I don't think so. Is he really 37? I don't think he's 37, is he?
Yeah, he's
You see.
yeah, I think he's 37.
Oh, he is. Yeah.
Yeah, he's 37.
Yeah. Hey man, at the very least, since he is, I think he signed a contract with the PFL, whatever that is, right? That other
Hmm.
league. I don't think there's any kind of restriction on him like competing in the two sports. So, hey man, if he wants to fight like who's like let's see, you know, like Joseph Parker,
Yeah.
some of these other dudes. So anyone that's like in the top 10 for heavyweight, yeah, I think he could do it. He could at least make it interesting. Cash those checks, man.
Well,
You
because
know?
you got to think if you're like someone like Dylan White, you know, or if you're like someone in that in that in
Right,
from
Joe
those
Joyce or
names,
something,
yeah, one
yeah.
of those dudes. I don't know. It's kind of worth it. Like
Yeah.
he's gonna sell tickets. He's gonna be um the guy who's gonna. He's a name, a bigger name than any. Um,
Anyone outside of like
yeah,
Fury, Usyk, or Wilder, like yeah.
So you think like, dude, like it kind of would be worth it to fight him if you're even like, what's the Cuban guy, King Kong?
Luis
Um,
Ortiz.
yeah,
Yeah,
why wouldn't you fight him?
yeah.
Like you're already an older dude, like because that guy, that guy's old. Why wouldn't you fight him if you're him and go and see what can happen? Cash a check one last time.
Dude, Ruiz, get in there, bro. Get
Yeah,
that check. Since Ruiz was
yeah.
trying to find a check, dude. Yeah, oh yeah,
Like you're any of these dudes, why wouldn't you? So it just made me think like, man, like I don't know. Like he he clearly has the boxing thing down. At least the stance, because that was the difference between the McGregor and the Floyd. You could tell it was you could tell
yeah,
McGregor, even though he had a good showing of himself, you could tell this guy's not an MMA guy. He's not a boxer. But watching the Fury and Gano fight, you're like, dude, like I don't know. Like even the knockdown that when he knocked him down, that was a that was boxing. That was over the head. Boom.
yeah,
That was a counter. And yeah, you could tell I'm speechless because
dude. Yeah, you're
I was
in
not
in the plainest terms, you were paying your respects to Ngannou. You're like, dude, this guy's legit. Like, yeah, this guy, yeah,
and I'm so glad I don't have to eat my words. I'm so glad I did. I wasn't because typically I'm this I'm this boxing snob. So I'm so glad that I said nothing. I thought it obviously, and when they put on the fight, I'm like, all right, let's watch this. All right. Then I was like, there is what is going on, and I get it from the other side. From the other side, you can be, Fury didn't take this seriously. He didn't train like that. Blah blah blah. And maybe all that is true, but what is also true is Francis Ngannou, not because Fury looked bad, but Francis Ngannou looked good, legit. Like he
yeah,
legitimately looked good in there. So, um, I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. But that was
yeah, yeah. We eager to see what he does. Yeah,
that was the biggest shock I think of 2023 because there's he lost by split decision. It was a really close fight. I thought
oh
Fury
yeah,
won, but if somebody would have told me Francis Ngannou he's going to fight Tyson Fury, and when he fights him, Tyson Fury, he's going to get dropped, I would have been like, what? Like what? Like legit? Yeah, legit
yeah,
dropped, and he's going to win a split decision with just Francis Ngannou. Even the biggest Francis Ngannou fan would be like, "You're crazy! Like, get
yeah.
out of here! Like, what are you talking about?" And that happened, like that legit happened. Like there are people who argue Ngannou won that fight. Like that's crazy. That's if the roles were reversed, if Fury would have fought Ngannou in the cage, and it would have been a split decision for Ngannou, and people were arguing, like MMA dudes arguing that Fury won, it would be like a huge story.
You're like, that's insane. You'd be like, it's impossible.
So it just, I don't know. I mean, if he was younger, this would be a different. This we could be like man, can Ngannou
Witnessing
do
history,
this?
dude. They'd be like, dang, one crossed
Yeah,
over and is doing well. Yeah. Oh yeah.
and also heavyweights are different because heavyweights do fight until much later.
That is true. Yeah.
So we'll see, we'll see. But Ngannou, you have my
Stay tuned,
attention.
y'all. Stay tuned for Ngannou's, promising new career.
You have my respect. And there is more money in boxing.
True.
So so
Shout out to Dana White. Yeah.
shout out to Dana White. Um I do have an MMA question for you. Is there any word on John Jones? Is he fighting anytime soon?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I mean, there's always like rumors, but they're saying that gosh, I think he wants to fight Stipe, but that guy, I mean, he's already super old. Like, I think there was a video of him at a fight recently, and he's like hobbling, like he can barely walk out to his
Mm,
seat, and it's like,
yeah.
dude, that guy, he's like already like in his early 40s. Or like, yeah, bro, that's yeah, yeah,
Okay.
that's unfortunate because I really wanted to see him versus Francis.
Yeah. Um and there's no chance that happens, huh? I saw a thing.
Yeah,
Dana White was pretty much like, no, I'm not talking about him.
yeah,
Like,
Dana, yeah, he's being a turd. Yeah,
and I'm like, whoa, okay, Dana. All right.
yeah.
Um, let's do it. Let's change the pace here. Last time we talked, Deion Sanders was on top of the world. He was um the next Nick Saban. Um, and the center of college football was not Georgia, was not Tuscaloosa, was not Michigan or Ohio State. It was Colorado, Boulder.
Boulder, yeah.
Um, since then, you know,
We
Colorado.
could say things have calmed down. Yeah, things have subsided, if you will.
um, what did you think of all the hype at first? Were you in on the Dion thing? Were you or were you just like, come on, what are we doing?
I okay. I'm gonna take it back. I was in on Dion with Jackson State.
Okay.
I was all for him with that small school. I was like, dude, this is perfect. This is like, dude, an NFL legend of his caliber
Mm-hmm.
going to a school like that. It's like, why? Why would he do it? Like, it's not like he needs money, you know. I
Right.
mean, but yeah, I was kind of disappointed when he went to Colorado. I was like, because also, although Colorado is not like you know, obviously they're like an upper division team, but they're not like a USC. They're not like a Alabama.
Right.
They're still a bigger school than Jackson State. Bigger budget,
Right.
all that kind of stuff. So in my mind, I was like, man, like Dion said it wasn't for the check, but I'm like, a check has to be involved to go to a bigger school like that.
Oh yeah, of course.
So I was just like, man, did I really buy into this Dion Kool-Aid? And just like I've been swindled. He's a con man. I bought in, and he left me hanging out to dry, and he left running as soon as the big school came calling.
Yeah.
So I was pretty pissed. And then when he beat TCU that first game, I was at work. I was watching the game,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, man, this dude really beat TCU first game. And then boom, the 3-0.
Yeah.
And I was watching the Colorado State game, their third game at after one of their gigs at the hotel. They had the game on, right? Because they went to overtime, big
Yeah.
deal. And I was like, man, these dudes are really 3-0. They went 1-9 last year. He brought in all his transfers. Anyone that was worth anything at Jackson State, he took them. They went to Colorado.
Yeah.
And so I was like, man. And then boom, fourth week they play Oregon. I think halftime it was like 35-0, all Oregon. And I was like, there it is. That's about where we're at. Like, and here we are. They're 4-8. So
Yeah.
I
They
mean, I
were
don't want to
one
say
and
I'm
eight in the
pleased.
Pac-12. 1-8.
Yeah, I don't want to say I'm pleased, but I'm like, a part of me is like, I'm not gonna say told you so because they didn't say told you so, but part of me is just like, well, So I think they can improve because some of those games they lost were close.
Yeah. Like the
Some of them,
USC game, they lost to
yeah,
USC
the
by
USC. Oh, you
by
don't even get me
7.
started. That one was so disappointing. I was expecting USC to just, and they were up big, but then their defense couldn't,
Yeah.
couldn't stop paint from drying. Terrible. But shout out to Lincoln Riley. But yes, I mean some of those games were close. Some of those games they lost by like a field goal,
Yeah.
or a touchdown or two. So I do think they're going to improve. I think they're going to get better. I think Dion just being there gives them an edge in recruiting. Um, and because I mean, man, if you play defense, let alone like defensive back corner, why wouldn't you want to be around that guy to just
Oh
soak
yeah.
up the knowledge?
Right.
And I think he does pretty well with like getting coaches that he trusts to be on his staff. So yeah, I mean, sure, going from 1-9 to 4-8, I think obviously it's an improvement. So I think he'll be okay. But part of me is still a little bit salty about the Jackson State thing. So man, but I know some people were like all in, like they were that like have you seen that movie Miracle, the hockey movie when like the
Mm-hmm.
U.S. beats like people were like rioting for Dion when they were 3-0. Like they were just like one of the valets I know at the hotel. He was watching the game on his phone outside. He was ready to go, and I was like, man. So, but yeah, it will be interesting to see because Colorado's been like, you know, Colorado who.
Yeah.
So to see them now kind of become a figure in the college football realm, it's interesting because you just hear about the usual suspects, the like you said, the Alabamas, Ohio States. So to hear Colorado in the mix, it's kind of like, oh, who would have thought? A little bit, a little bolder, making the rounds. So yeah, and it sounds good. I think Shador, his son playing quarterback. I
Yeah.
think he's legit. He's got a future playing ball. Obviously, it's hard to live up to that name Dion.
Yeah.
Playing both ways, playing two sports, but
Mm-hmm.
um, yeah, I think you can't write him off anymore. You can't. Man, I remember back in the day when USC was like, doing it like if you weren't UCLA or Stanford or maybe even Notre Dame, any other school, Arizona State, Oregon State, Washington,
Mm-hmm.
those are like cream puff games. Now it's kind of like, oh, all right, Colorado, even Washington. Washington's playing. They were playing for like a playoff spot, so
Yeah.
definitely a changing of the guard. And of course, I'm sad because USC, they're not top dogs anymore. It's kind of sad.
But I think USC is it's clearly the defense. Like
Yeah,
that's like you a recruiting cycle and you should fix that. Um but yeah, the defense is bad.
yeah,
I trust Lincoln Riley. I think he's gonna get the job done at USC. He's really good. He's a really good coach. Just horrible defense. Just
yeah.
laughably horrible.
Oh
Like
yeah,
you
yeah,
watch those games, you're like, are you like how? How is this even possible?
yeah.
Like have you guys never played tackle football? Like what's like do you know you have to tackle the guy?
You gotta stop the guy. Yeah, from
Like
getting into your.
that's
Yeah, yeah. That's. Oh yeah.
It was like they were like going through a like a run through of the game. Like, no, like this is a real game. You got to tackle him. You can't just let
Yeah,
him run by
yeah.
you. Um,
How did you feel about the whole Dion thing? Like, how did you hear any buddies or coworkers or whatever?
yeah. So I watch college football very casually. I turn it on every Saturday, but I watch very casually. Um, and so I watched, Colorado TCU, and I was like, oh wow, Dion first game. Wow, interesting. And I saw because I think all three of the first three games were on like Fox, and they were like the
Yeah,
big game. And I'm like, oh wow, interesting. And I started to get like I started like when I would go to work and dudes were like, oh man, I can't wait for the Colorado game. And you're just like, what?
like who would have thought? Like,
Like
yeah,
since when? Since when is Colorado appointment television? And I had my brother-in-law text me and was like, hey, when is the shout out to Agent? He was like,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
hey, what time is the Colorado game? And I was like,
You're like, I don't know. Like,
and I just because Adrian, he's getting into sports. He likes the Eagles. He likes the Lakers. But I've never known him to like watch college football. And at first, I'm like, Colorado, who? Like, what do you mean, Colorado? Like, who? He's like, I want to see. I want to see what the Dion thinks about. I want to watch the game. And that's when I was like, okay, this is big
yeah,
time,
it's taken on a life of its own. Yeah,
And I tell them, well, the games at this side, and this was the Colorado when they played at Colorado State, and so obviously that was a really good game to watch because it goes to overtime, whatever. And that's when I was like, dang, like that's crazy. And then they play Oregon, it kind of just like falls apart because they played
it's
real.
Oregon. It's
They
Oregon. That's
played a real
Colorado. Like,
team.
yeah,
You go to Eugene and you just get the brakes blown, just beat off of you. Um, but yeah, when he texts me, I was just like, whoa, like dang, you're gonna watch this? And he was like texting me, like he was like, oh man, like that was crazy, that was a good play, like I can't believe they're in this game. I'm like, oh, you're legitimately watching Colorado. Um, and so that's when I knew. That's when I knew like this Colorado thing's a real deal. Like this is a real story, and he's gonna gravitate people to him, which is good for Colorado because that's the
yeah,
attention. Recruits want that. They want to go to a place where they're going to be seen. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. But I think the problem he's going to face in Colorado is I think they're moving to the Big 12 because the Big 12 is no more.
there's no more. Yeah,
Um, so he's moving to the Big 12, and it's you're Deion Sanders, and that obviously that name is cool, but it's been a long time since you played in the NFL. And as cool as it is, this, the generations that come after us are very quick to point out, well, that was a long time ago. That was old. And I just don't know how much pull his name will actually have when he's recruiting against Lincoln Riley, Nick Saban, Jim Harbaugh, um, Dave from Ohio State, Dabble Sweeney. Like when you're recruiting against these dudes that are well known, well established, and yeah, you're Dion, but what these kids care about is making it to the NFL. And everyone knows that, the schools that are pretty much the feeder system to the NFL. And Colorado is not that. So I think he's going to have to put dudes in the NFL first before this can actually take off.
yeah,
And ultimately, I think he's actually going to have to go to a bigger school for this to for us to see the real thing, because Deion can call you and he can, the whole thing, and oh, we're gonna do this, and we're gonna give you that, and flashy and all that. But I think it's still going to be tough to say no to Nick Saban. It's still going to be tough to say no to Georgia. Still going to be tough to say no to USC, especially now that they're in the Big Ten. It's going to be really tough to say no to these established programs, because if you're looking at Deion and you look at Colorado and you think, well, this school is still small. So for how long is Deion going to be there? Is the question.
Yeah.
Because he left Jackson State. So it's already.
Yeah, he was only there for I think 2 or 3 years. Yeah. I was expecting him to be there longer. That's why I was pissed. I was like, dude, you talked so much about wanting to bring the school up. I was expecting at least 5-7 years.
Yeah. So we already seen it. He'll move. And so if you're this
recruit, also once his son, let's say his son gets drafted,
how motivated is he really going to be? Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's where I think all this will kind of die out, because part of me thinks he wants to coach his kids, because all the stuff you do see of Deion is with his kids. And if you're able to coach your kids, go for it by all means. But this is kind of like the LeBron playing with his son thing. I think an NBA team is going to draft his son for the sake of having LeBron. But when LeBron retires, how much staying power is this kid going to have anywhere else?
Oh, yeah.
And I think that's the thing here. When Deion Sanders' kids go, is he really going to be motivated to coach these random kids a year round? Is he going to have the patience? Is he going to be able to do it day after day after day? And that's where I think the big schools, the established schools, will have the advantage ultimately, because USC may go up and down, but USC is USC, and USC isn't going anywhere. True. USC isn't getting smaller. The brand doesn't get smaller. Ohio State doesn't get smaller. Alabama doesn't get smaller. Michigan doesn't get smaller. So I think that's one thing that needs to be, that I look at it and I think, okay, this is fun, but this isn't going to be.
Yeah, let's see how long it'll last. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
But it's crazy. It's crazy, man. It's crazy.
Yeah. I didn't think he had this in him, though. Regardless of it being his kids, I didn't think someone like Deion would want to coach, because obviously, when you see these legends, players, specifically players, they don't. Yeah, a lot of them don't have an interest in coaching. They're just kind of no.
Yeah.
And a lot of great coaches weren't great players. So yeah.
But I think that's where it's cool to see his understanding that he needs to be a CEO type of guy, which that's what he is.
Right.
He's the face, and it kind of works there. So we'll see. It's going to be interesting to see what takes place in Colorado and Deion next season, because in the Big 12, I wonder if he's going to be able to have more success than what he did in his first year in the Pac-12, because already to go from 1-9 to 4-8, that's really good. That's more winning than they've had in some time. So if he's able to get to 500 next season, now there's an improvement. Now there's growth, and now you're able to be okay, what can happen in the future? What did you think of Caleb Williams and his season? Obviously, USC ended up having a disappointing season because of mainly their defense. But what do you think of Caleb Williams?
Obviously, there's a lot of talent, um, explosive, exciting. And
Yeah.
we've seen that with Lincoln Riley with these, this one of the quarterbacks he's had in the past. But yeah, I don't know. One thing specifically I've been seeing with like the college thing, and that's different, and that Dion kind of talked about a little bit. Let's go back on Dion, but
Mm-hmm.
is the NIL thing
Yeah.
where now now players are kind of like, is the goal even to be great in college for getting to the NFL? Now it's just to be great to get, because now you can get money just playing in
Mm-hmm.
college. And you're seeing guys that are staying in college longer. Obviously, you had like the whole pandemic, so people like lost the year of like playing time and all that. But
Mm-hmm.
um, yeah, I don't know. It kind of feels like some guys aren't as invested in getting to the league anymore because they can just do their thing in college. Obviously, they can still get to the league, but then it's like the motivation factor. Is the motivation still
Right.
there to be that great? So
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. I feel like as I'm getting older, it's getting hard for me to buy into some of these younger players because, like with Kyler Murray, for example, look great in college, and then you see him in the NFL, and they have some success in the NFL, but then it's not always like sustainable. Or whenever some
Mm-hmm.
adversity comes along, you kind of see the real side of them, the ugly side, where it's like, oh, can they really step up and put in work and overcome and all that? So I don't know. It kind of feels like Caleb Williams is kind of leaning towards that, like Lincoln Riley, like that prototype quarterback,
Mm.
and I'm not
Yeah.
entirely like sold on him yet. Um, but hey, I mean, who knows? If USC had like a competent defense, we could be sitting here and they could be like, you know, 11-1 or like 10-2. They might have looked a whole lot better. So,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, I mean, he looks, obviously, like I said, he's talented. He looks good. So,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think it's hard to really know, what he's going to be because I think you hear the name Patrick Mahomes and he's Mahomes like, and you're like, okay, like maybe, but Patrick Mahomes is also the best quarterback in football right now. So there is a lot of hype around Caleb Williams. And when you see him play and you see the throws he makes, you can see why people get excited. Um, but it's also, the NFL and college football are two very different things.
oh yeah,
And we're seeing that with like Bryce Young.
right,
And, because the big thing for Bryce Young coming into the league was, he's always cool. He's always, he never gets pressured. And you see him now and you're just like, well, that's not the same guy. Like he's not cool, calm, and collected now because it's a different speed. It's a different everything. So um I think with USC, I'm very optimistic with what can happen just because of the infrastructure. With Caleb Williams, I think the end of his career at USC is alarming just because you kind of hope that the quarterback is the leader and he kind of just went out with a whimper, like there was no fight.
yeah,
Um, but it's so hard to judge it, because they're so young, but also you're kind of being groomed the entire time to make it to the NFL. So that's the thing that's always interesting. That it's like, oh man, they're just college kids, but in a few months when he declares for the draft and he gets drafted and he plays better in preseason game, it's like, well, now we can crush him. It's like, well, he's probably still the same age.
yeah.
He's just like, so he just changes uniform, so now it's okay to crush him. But uh, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how his career goes into it because I think one of the things we've seen in the NFL is the quarterback needs to be all in. He has to be. And when
Yeah.
he's into other things except being all in at football, um, it kind of gets messy, and that's what's tough, you know. Um, Anything else that stood out to you from the college football season? Because I think next week we get the conference games, and then we get to see we get to know who's in the playoff.
Yeah. Man. Shout out to the Pac-12, man. End of an era.
Yeah.
That's gonna be weird. Like, just I remember when I
Mhm.
first heard about it, I was like, what does this mean? Like, what do you mean there's not gonna be a Pac-12? Like, because so
Yeah.
yeah, man.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough. The
It's
Pac-12
kind of
after
gonna be
dark.
like, I mean, like kind of I feel like when like Staples Center was renamed Crypto, it was kind of like it's been Staples forever. Like,
Yeah.
like, and it's like what? So it's gonna be so feel so weird to say, like, oh, USC in the Big 12. It's like, what?
Yeah, it's gonna be because I think one of the things that's cool about college football is the different regions, and
Hmm.
every region has its own style, its own flavor, and now it's just gonna like not gonna have that, and that's gonna
Yeah.
be a weird feel to see all those
Right, right. Oh
prospects.
yeah, all those like West Coast teams, the Big 12. It's like what? Yeah,
Yeah,
and
it's
the
gonna be
SEC. Yeah,
interesting. Yeah, I'm hoping Michigan wins it all. That's who I'm hoping wins it. Um, I was delighted that they beat
is
Ohio
this because of
State.
Jim Harbaugh?
Yeah,
You
Jim Harbaugh
would, you
forever.
would. Oh my gosh, dang!
um,
Is the college football playoff? Is it 8 teams now, or just still just four?
it's still four. I think next
That's
season
ridiculous.
it
Bruh.
goes to eight. Um, so
Yeah, I'm man. Is it Georgia? Georgia's undefeated, right?
yeah, Georgia, and so Georgia plays Alabama next week, and I think the winner will go to the playoff, and then it's Oregon, Washington will play for the Pac-12 title. Oklahoma State, Texas play for the Big 12 title. Michigan, Iowa play for the Big 10, and Georgia, Alabama play for the SEC, and Louisville versus Florida State play for the ACC. So
I'm rooting for Alabama. Alabama all the way. Yeah, that's it.
yeah, so I'm hoping Michigan. Michigan's number two in the nation. Um, that's who I'm rooting for. Jim Harbaugh comes back from a 3-game suspension, so um, I'm all in. Let's go Wolverines.
Go Wolverines. Yeah. Well, Brady went there too. So yeah,
He
there you
did.
go. Yeah,
Yeah,
Brady's rooting
Brady.
for the Wolverines too. All
There you
right, all
go.
right. I see you.
Um, let's end with this. There was a time in in sports where you would say who's the greatest coach in sports history, and you would
Oh,
do the Red Auerbach, Phil Jackson, Greg Popovich, um, Bill Walsh, Tom Landry, Nick Saban,
Chuck Noll, Steelers.
Chuck Noll. Um,
Heck,
and you
maybe like
would
Don Shula. Don
Don
Shula maybe.
Shula, Andy Reid. You would go through this list and you would say all these names, but you would know, and Bill Parcells. Can't forget about Bill Parcells.
Right, right, right.
Um, but everybody knew the guy, and the main dude, the main guy, Vince Lombardi. Can't forget about Lombardi. The number one dude was Bill Belichick. That was the guy. He was a genius. He was the guy that was gonna be just, he was planning something always. The Patriots never had the same game plan twice, and they were
The
just,
Emperor, dude. The Emperor.
like they could play anybody, they could play any style. You could have more talent than them, but they would still figure it out. And then Brady leaves. Brady leaves what, 2019? Brady leaves, and it kind of, first year without Brady, they still make the playoffs, and they get thrashed by Buffalo, and you're like, okay, well, Mac Jones is young, he'll get it. He had the same body type as Brady, so people are like, oh, overweight, doughy white guy. We've seen this before, and now
The curtain has been pulled back on this dude.
and now we're kind of sitting here and thinking like, wait, was this all fake? Like, what happened? Without Tom Brady, I don't know if you know this. Without Tom Brady, Bill Belichick is 82 and 98. 82 wins, 98 losses. With Tom Brady, Bill Belichick is 249 and 75. Now, when Brady first retired, or first left the Patriots, there was the big talk.
Who was it? Who was the
Yeah,
one?
who was the? And always see, it's a dumb conversation because it's both. Obviously, Bill Belichick is a good coach. Like, it's fun to poke it in now because you like it when I suffer as a Niner fan. So I'm sticking it back to you. But Bill Belichick is a great coach. He's the third most winningest coach in football. He has 300 wins. But to think that 249 of those are connected to Brady kind of puts a different spin, doesn't it?
Oh yeah.
It's weird. So my question to you, where are you at? Because you're a Pats fan. Where are you at with Bill Belichick? Is it time? Is it has this been exposed, or is this just, he got old and that's what happened? You're not as sharp, your brain doesn't work as much as, the drafts have been awful too. So is this just,
Yeah.
a dude that got old and it's time for somebody else to take the reins, or is he being exposed? Because before he took the Patriots job, the Cleveland Browns, in 4 years, he was 36 and 44. So it's not like he had
Yeah, yeah. And that
this
for
like
the
great
longest
resume.
time, that was my that was my argument. Whenever people would talk about Brady and Belichick and who was the one, I'd always point to that career he had with the Clevelands where I was like, dude, he wasn't all that hot before.
Yeah.
Um, and if you look at Brady at Michigan,
Mm-hmm.
dude was a winner. He was a winner at Michigan,
Yeah.
you know. So yeah, it just. I mean, I mentioned it to you before the pod, but even the decision making doesn't feel the same.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, there was a time even okay when he had Brady too.
Yeah.
There was a time when he would trade certain guys or cut certain guys, and like I think he got rid of like Logan Mankins, one of our
Mm-hmm.
old linemen at one year. He
Mm-hmm.
traded Jamie Collins, who was like a linebacker that was really hot with us. And when those decisions were made, I was always like, dude, Bill, what are you doing? Those guys are great players, blah, blah, blah. And it always ended up working out for us.
Mm-hmm.
Whoever else we brought in would always just, pick up that mantle and be, do what they
Yeah.
needed to do. But with nowadays with these guys, it's just like even the infrastructure of the team doesn't feel the same.
Yeah.
Before it was always obviously when they had Brady, there was always an element of like discipline
Mm-hmm.
and buy-in from the players
Mm-hmm.
and trusting the process. You put in the work in the preseason, and then boom, when season comes around, we'll be okay if we do this, this, and this. Do your job, that kind
Yeah.
of thing, the Patriot way. And it doesn't feel that way right now. It's kind of like, can we just like? You also hear rumors of like the locker room turning on Mac Jones, and they don't want Mac Jones to start anymore. And it's like, man, like that. Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't feel like they have it under control.
Yeah.
And before, it felt like they could always, whatever they could control, they would. And nowadays, it just feels like they're just like grasping anything they can get. So I think it might be time to move on. I don't know. Maybe one more
Man.
year with Bill, and then, dude,
Yeah.
because it'd be one thing if they were at least like winning a few games or losing a few close ones. If they were just competing, that'd be one thing. But didn't they lose to the Giants today, like 10-7?
Yeah.
Like,
Mm-hmm.
dude, what are we
They're
doing here?
they're
What
two
is
and
this?
nine. The
Yeah, man,
last so the last two games combined, they've scored a total of 13 points. They lost ten
that's
six,
unacceptable.
10-6 to the Colts last week, and today they lost 10-7 to the Giants. Um, and you go down the line, and it's just like the last was it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So like this season, there's been what 13 games played, and they have scored at least 20 points. Guess how many times? At least
Twice,
20 points.
twice,
Twice. Isn't that crazy? The most
man.
points they've scored this season is 29 versus the Bills when they beat them 29-25. That's crazy.
Man,
That's like unheard of for a Patriots team. Like that doesn't happen. That shouldn't happen to a team with that history, with that coach,
oh yeah,
because it gets to a point where like what are you doing? What are you doing as a coach to get this team prepared?
to give your team the edge.
Yeah. And I think that was the thing that Belichick always got the credit. The benefit of that with having a Belichick coach team was that he was going to have you prepared. A
Yeah,
Bill Belichick coach team may not have the best players, but they were going to be more prepared than you, and that's why they always had a chance. And I think it was like 2 years ago. Shady McCoy said this in a podcast, and he said it's Brady. Brady
yeah. It was the I Am
is
Athlete
the
pod.
system. Yeah,
Yeah,
Brady's the system. The reason why they were able to compete when they had no business competing was Brady. It wasn't Belichick, it was Brady. And you hear that and you're like, oh, like what does LaShawn McCoy know? He never played for Brady. He never played for Belichick. And you look at it now and you're like, maybe. It's probably really easy to game plan when you have the greatest quarterback in the history of the NFL just commanding your offense. And you see this also with like Josh McDaniels. Josh McDaniels was always like lauded as like a really good offensive mind. But we saw it with the Broncos and we saw it this season with the Raiders. Like, well, maybe it's a lot easier to be an offensive coordinator when Tom Brady is your
your quarterback. Yeah,
quarterback. Like, maybe it's a lot easier because the opposite is also true. Like, someone like Kyle Shanahan, and we've seen this guy win with all sorts of quarterbacks. that it's kind of clear, like, well, no, Kyle Shanahan's system works. And with this, it's like, man, like Brady really was the system there. That it's hard to have this conversation because from at one point you don't want to disparage what Bill Belichick has done because it's an amazing career. He will in my lifetime, he's the greatest NFL coach. But the question will be had,
Was it really him?
yeah, because when Brady went to the Bucks and he was on that team, one of the things that was interesting was that Brady went in there and he took his own dudes. He took his uh his own players, and he had the dudes that he wanted to throw to. And Bruce Arians, up until that point, was known as, he was a decent coach, offensive mind guy, but nobody thought, Bruce Arians was this winner. We just thought,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah. He was always missing that one thing to just get him over the hump as a really good coach.
And Brady goes there, they win the Super Bowl, and it's like Bruce Arians, that guy's a good coach. And Brandon Leftwich, the offensive coordinator for those teams, the same thing. Like, oh man, he's an up and comer, and he's a good he's a good he's a good mind, a good offensive mind, and Brady's working with him, and blah blah blah. And you think, and now I don't know where that Byron Leftwich, not I said Brandon, Brian Leftwich, and now it's like, well, like this guy's. I think I don't even know if he's on the team actually. So, and you kind of get this idea, and you're like, dude, like this guy is nowhere now. Well, he might be with the Bucks, but anyway, he doesn't have um, the same juice, and I think that's the thing that's interesting, that Brady made the career for what appears to be Belichick, and he kind of put the cherry on top um for Bruce
Bruce
Arians.
Arians, yeah.
And Byron Leftwich he's not with the team right now, and he's kind of like in the no man's land, that you think like, man, Brady was the key to all these dudes. So it's tough. Like, is Belichick a fraud? Like, I don't think he is, right?
As I think as time goes on, it's gonna be apparent, man. Like he's got to figure it out. Because if things keep going the way they're going, another 2-3 years, because once he retires or whatever, it's gonna be like, man, if you look at those numbers without Brady, it's like, man,
It's just unheard of. Like 249 wins, and you've without him 82. That's crazy. So I don't know. It makes me kind of sad, just because of
yeah,
you kind of
the
think like,
history.
man, was it all a lie? And from the other standpoint, you almost want to Brady deserves even more credit.
Oh yeah, I'm cool with that. We're fine.
Like, he's even greater than what we thought, because Mahomes is the next guy, but Mahomes has Andy Reid. Andy Reid is an established, really good coach. We've seen it. Andy Reid had a really good record, had a really good track record with Philly. He comes here and he has a really good record with the Chiefs. So I don't know, man. I don't know if we've ever seen anything like this before.
I think we've all been catfished by Belichick, man. That's
You
all.
really think so?
Dude,
Is that
bruh.
Is that where you're at? You think so?
Yeah, man.
Oh my god.
Because even okay, let's if he there was that short amount of time when he had like Bledsoe and that really good defense right before Brady came along, and they were winning, they were doing well.
Yeah.
You could say that was, let's say he'd won a Super Bowl without Brady before Brady was on there. You could make an argument where it's like, oh, dude, he still got his ring. He proved he could do it before, but it's like, dude, it all comes when Brady's there. Like, it's just, man, that he's got a losing record as a coach without him.
So does he need a Super Bowl?
I think he needs to at least just first just even get him the winning column before, and then if he could do that, then yeah, get a Super Bowl ring too. But it's like, dude, just prove you can win without him
Score
first.
more than 20 points in more than twice in a season.
Yeah, man. Oh,
um,
and I
yeah,
feel
man.
bad for him. Like you said, it's rough, dude. It's just like it's kind of sad.
Yeah, because this is not what you expect from him. I think we've all seen like Sean Payton, for example. Sean Payton's is a he's a good coach. He's right now in a bad Broncos team with a bad roster. But Sean Payton's making it work.
Yeah, he won five in a
He
row. Yeah.
he's winning games, 6 in a row. They won today.
Oh, today, yeah,
6-5. The Broncos are 6-5. And you think like that's coaching. That's
yeah,
coaching right there. Use and I seen it firsthand with my coach. He had, whoever he had, Mullins, CJ Beathard, Jimmy Garoppolo, Trey Lance, and Brock Purdy. And it's just like you figure out a way to win. That's just, you just get it done. And you same thing with like the Seahawks with Geno Smith. They lose Russell Wilson. Well, Pete Carroll figures it out with Geno Smith. They make the playoffs last year. They're in contention this year again. That is just it's so crazy to
yeah,
see this, to see that drop off because obviously we're not expecting the Patriots to be Super Bowl contenders without Brady. Not expecting that, but we're not expecting a 2-9 team. We're not expecting this, and I think that's the part that's like so crazy
yeah,
that I was seeing stuff on Twitter, like Patriots fans were like, "Well, we need to from this point forward, we got to lose to get a top
a good
pick."
draft pick. Yeah,
And it's like that. That's where they're at.
that's what it's come to. Yeah, that's like what? Yeah,
It's like the Patriots are tanking, and that's
yeah,
nuts.
man. Yeah.
So I'm sorry to bum you out to end the pot, but it's just
Hey, it's my turn to to take that on. You know what I mean? Everyone's got their time. I hate to sound like an old person, but I'm like, dude, I've had a good long NFL life. I've enjoyed six championships. I've had my
yeah.
time in the sun. I can endure some losing. There are Browns fans out there that are actually suffering.
They're 49er fans that are actually suffering.
No, shut up. You guys are doing great. You know what I mean? Perennial, like, dude, Lions fans. Hey, shout out to the Lions. Shout out to the Lions. They're doing good. I'm
Wait,
happy
do
for
you
them.
do you think it's worse to be a team that never knows what it's like to win, like Browns, Lions,
Jags.
Jags? You think it's worse for them than it is for a team like the Bills, the Niners, the Cowboys, the Eagles? Well, I guess the Eagles won a few years ago, but
Yeah, because
teams.
there's nothing to stand on, dude. Like there's just wait,
Yeah,
what are
but
you rooting for?
yeah,
Like
but you
what?
don't. But you don't know what you're missing.
That makes it even worse. You're stupid. You're rooting for a team that always loses, dude. Think about it.
Yeah, but there's no hope. So are you really being let down?
You
There
don't
can
even know you're being let down. You're being let down. You know what I mean? It's
no,
like,
but
dude,
but you don't even you don't even get excited. So therefore, you don't even understand. Like it's not computing in you what it is to feel like because you're just dead. Like the season starts and it's just like,
I mean,
yeah, well,
you see it with like other teams though. So it's like you could definitely be like Squidward looking out the window at like all the other teams enjoying success. You know?
yeah, but I think it's more painful to be a team that gets crushed. Like you think you're there and you get crushed than it is a team that just never has a chance.
Hey, if look at it this way. At this point, I'd rather be the Pats or the Cowboys or a fan of theirs, right? And even if we're losing, I can still look back and point and say, "Hey, man, we've enjoyed X amount of championships. We've had, you know." Whereas, so you have that to cling to. You have some kind of hope. But if you're a Lions fan, you're like, dude, what is it? Like, well, Barry Sanders, that's it. And it's like, why?
But
Why?
I think the reason why I think it's worse is because you actually know. You know what it is. You know that pain, you know the road. I think that's what makes it tougher. I think it's a more miserable existence to be a Browns fan and the fans of those teams.
Yeah, because if you've won and then now you're losing, you can still look back on those good memories and be like, hey man, those are some good times. You know, like you can look back and be like, ah, yes, dude. Lions fans don't have that. At least anyone that's alive, that hasn't like enjoyed championships in like the early 1900s.
Yeah, but I think following the Niners the last, and seeing how they've found ways to like crush me the last 10 years or so. Because you look at the stats and you're like, dude, the Niners have been in like 3 Super Bowls. The Niners have been in like 4 or 5 NFC championship games and not one Super Bowl. And it's been like crushing defeat after crushing defeat. That dude, like you carry that. Like a Lions fan is like, well, dude, whatever. Like their best moment is, I don't know, Matthew Stafford throwing a touchdown to Megatron in a meaningless game. Like that doesn't compare to like you think you're gonna beat Philly in and go to the Super Bowl and then your quarterback goes down. Or you're in the Super Bowl, you're up 10 and you're like, dude, we're beating Mahomes. And then like everything falls apart. Like I think that hurts way more. I think that's way more painful. Because you're there. You're in the moment, you know?
I mean, yeah, it's that saying. I hear what you're saying. Like it hurts more when you lose because you've won. Like the twice the pride, double the fall kind of
Yeah.
thing. But I just think it's a lot sadder to just even root for a team that doesn't even win at all. It's like does it suck that much that you're just like, yeah, I'll just root for them. Like
It is.
think of like the complacency to just keep supporting something like that. Whereas like with a
Yeah.
team that's won, it's like you have something to stand on. There's a foundation of winning. There's a level of honor to just be like, dude, this is what we've done. Because it's like, dude, the Browns. It's like, yeah, I'm just gonna keep room for those guys. Yeah, yeah, they had Johnny Football. Just wouldn't even watch film. Yeah,
Baker
yeah,
Mayfield won a playoff game.
good for Baker Mayfield. But you know what I mean.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I think it's tougher on the other side just because you get so close. So because you get so close, you can taste it. You think like this is it, and it just doesn't happen. It's like the kid who gets taken to downtown Disney forever, but never actually goes to Disneyland. And that kid, like, we don't got money to go to Disneyland, but we can take you downtown Disney. That kid just feels crushed that he can't. And he feels more crushed than the kid who lives like in Kentucky somewhere, who has no idea what it is. He just sees Disneyland on TV and says, "Man, that'd be cool to go there." But that kid would be as excited to go to downtown Disney. He would think it's as great as Disneyland. But the kid who knows the Disneyland and downtown Disney knows, man, you have no idea. You started off this segment by saying, shout out to the Lions. Lions are what, 8-3, 8-4. They lose to the Packers on Thursday. But guess what? It's like, feel good Lions. Good for them. Those guys finally got it together. That's awesome. And that's what's going to happen. Whatever happens to the Lions this season, it's going to be like, man, good for them, man. Those guys actually put it together. Wow, they were a good team. They could get stomped in the wild card round, or they can like make it to the divisional series, or they can go all the way to the Super Bowl. Whatever the outcome is for the Lions, it's a win for the Lions. If the 49ers, if the Eagles, if the Chiefs don't make the Super Bowl, don't win the Super Bowl, it's like, dude, how do you waste this season? And that's hurts more because there's a Lions fan has no idea what it is, has no way of understanding. And I've been taken to downtown Disney way too many times. I want to get to Disneyland. That's what I want to do. Just for once. Just let me get to Disneyland. And I think that's why I hear it's more. Lions fans, shout out to them. 8-3, shout out to them. The Niners are 8-3. You know what's the call the Niners? Well, we'll see. Let's see if they can even beat Philly. Because that's where we're at. That's where we're at right now. Same record, same everything. The Niners have looked great, but we'll say, hey, they play Philly next week, so we'll see what they look against Philly. And that's where we're at. The Bills, 6-6. And everyone's like, oh man, the Bills suck, man. Those guys suck. The Dolphins, 8-3. And everyone's like, man, those guys suck. Those guys will never compete against the Chiefs. Those guys are soft. And it's like, dude, like that's a real record. The Ravens, 9-3. And everyone's like, well, Lamar Jackson chokes in the playoffs. But if the Browns are 7-4, everyone's saying, wow, those guys have a great defense. Shout out to the Browns. So I think it's more painful, way more painful to be the team that's sniffed it. You can see it, you can taste it, and it just goes up in smoke.
Yeah, but no, it's still no. You're okay. You still have championships to talk about, to brag about. That's what I'm saying. Like dude. In arguments, like in sports arguments, those guys, like Cowboys fans, Steelers fans, they're always going to have a leg up. And you with the Niners, you're always going to have, oh, dude, Jay Rice, like you have those guys. That's what I'm saying. So for all that suffering for not having made it recently, you still have some comfort that's built in forever from the past.
Yeah,
those guys don't have that. They have nothing.
Well,
Megatron retired. Barry Sanders, dude, Barry Sanders could have broken the all-time record for rushing and decided to retire. That's gotta hurt.
Yeah, I mean, I guess in my thinking, I'm thinking, well, I'm having these conversations with people in the big table. So when you're eating at the big table, you're just like, dude, you guys couldn't get it done. Like, look at your roster. Your roster is loaded. You couldn't get it done, and you just like, they messed up our quarterback, or like, yeah. So I think that's where I have the disconnect. Where I think, well, we're not even talking to those guys. Like a Lions fan, like we're not even talking to you, bro. Like you're just enjoy your 8-3, bro.
That's
Enjoy
what
it.
I'm saying, bro. Let them enjoy their PB and J. Let them enjoy that sandwich.
I know, and
You've
they're
had a
super.
you've had a steak sandwich. You know what it's like. So if you go to PB and J, you're fine. You can think about your steak sandwich, but they've only ever had PB and J.
No. This is what this is. You go to a restaurant. You say, "Can I get a PB&J sandwich?" They give it to you, and you're happy. It's a PB&J sandwich. Who doesn't like PB&J? But I go and I say, "Hey, I want a steak sandwich with fries and a Coke." And they bring me the steak sandwich, but they give me the fries and they give me the bun. It's everything's in there except the beef. There's no steak. And you're like, wait, I ordered a steak sandwich. Well, we run out of steak, so just eat the lettuce and tomato sandwich. And we actually don't have Coke. Here's some Pepsi. Thank you for coming.
Whoa! You are
That's
not
what
about
that
to just
is.
drink. You're not
That's what
about to
that
just drink
is.
Pepsi like that, bruh.
Well, I mean, come on. Coke is better. Come on. What are we doing?
Even then, the meal you're getting is better than the guy with the PB and J. Think about that.
No. The guy with PB&J ordered a PB&J sandwich. He got exactly what he ordered.
But he can still look at you eating
Mm.
whatever else you got, your fries and your Coke, because
No.
they can watch
No, no,
other
no, no,
teams
no.
win championships.
He
That's what I'm
ordered
saying.
no. He ordered exactly. He got exactly what he ordered.
But he can still see other people order other food.
Yeah. But in terms of being satisfied, you're satisfied because what did you order? PB&J sandwich. That's what I ordered. That's what I could afford. I could afford a championship. What did I get? I got a tomato and lettuce sandwich. So I'm not satisfied. That's what it
Yeah, that's
is.
between you and God. You gotta tell me you're suffering more than a Lions fan.
uh, but Bill Belichick, we're closing the door on Bill Belichick. We're officially naming him a fraud. Is that what we're doing today?
Hopefully, Robert Kraft decides to sooner than later. You know,
Yeah. So we'll see. Are you of the belief that this is his last season in New England?
I don't know if I would say this season, but I think the end is coming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should be interesting. I wonder what would happen if you were to take over like the Chargers,
Oh,
because now he would have a quarterback.
yeah,
So I wonder what would happen then.
yeah. Interesting.
But we'll see.
That'd be funny because
We'll
I can think
monitor
of
it.
a lot of Chargers fans that hated the Pats and Belichick by extension.
Yeah.
And so if he were to go to the Chargers and start winning, it's like, oh, now you guys like Belichick, huh?
So that should be interesting. If he goes to a team with a quarterback, um, what would take place? But we'll monitor it. But it is something to see because it hasn't been good. It hasn't been good without Brady for a while. And you're right. You have the 6 Super Bowls to hang on, so nobody feels bad for you. Nobody feels bad for you because of that. But the Niners haven't won in like they're over 30 years, so I think people feel bad for us. That's the difference. I think
Yeah,
every team has won recently. The Niners haven't. That's my argument too. We haven't
you're
won
not
in a
gonna get
while.
any, Jerry. You're barking up the wrong tree, man. You're not gonna get any sympathy from me.
Well, yeah, you love to see me
Yeah,
suffer. So
I delight in the suffering that is German Contreras with the
so
Niners.
some great friend you are.
I had a bad Thanksgiving night, dude. Let me put it to you that way. I checked the score and I was like, damn it, they won.
Oh man, if the Niners win the Super Bowl, you might avoid me for a few months then, huh?
Dude, I might like deactivate everything. I'd be like, you know what? I'm not hopping on Twitter. I was like, that's it.
Yeah, I'm gonna be rightfully insufferable when the Niners win the Super Bowl.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm not looking forward to. I'm like, oh no.
Oh man, and I'm gonna enjoy it. I hope this season. I have a good feeling about this season, but we'll see. I'm like I think I told you before we start recording. I have a sports cup on just to protect myself.
Yeah.
So we'll see how this turns out. Um, but we have a lot of fun stuff coming. Uh, Usyk Fury fight in a few months, so we'll see how that one turns out. Um, we'll do the trainers pod, and if we'll do that one, and then we'll see how what happens with Ryan Garcia and
Yeah. And Haney the week after that, I think.
and Haney. Yeah, so a lot of stuff coming down the pike. So it should be a very good way to end the year, and we'll see how your Patriots end. Hopefully, let's see if you guys can get a victory. Because it's getting really sad.
Yeah.
And hopefully I become even more insufferable for you. Hopefully the Niners keep winning. And that's what I look forward to. I look forward to just driving you crazy. I'd like to be blocked on Twitter by you. That'd be great. I'd like to get to that point where
gosh.
you're just
No.
like, you know what? I need a break, and
I've had enough. Yeah, I'm gonna mute you. That's it. Just not gonna. Yeah.
But this is always fun. It's a pleasure to have you. We'll do this soon. We gotta do a movie. We gotta do a movie again. So we gotta see what we do.
Yeah.
What extra documentary or thing we can do. Maybe we can do a music one. That'd be fun. Pick your brain
Yeah,
on.
you had some ideas for the music one.
Yeah.
The music stuff, yeah.
Yeah. So we'll keep ironing it out and see what we come up with. But yeah, it was a pleasure. Thanks for coming.
Thanks for having me, man. Always a pleasure, like you said.
And we'll do it again soon. So that was the pod. Thank you to David for joining me. Thanks for Angel for the song. And I'll talk to you guys later for the Arizona podcast. This is German. Until next time.